Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Bit of a mix-up there with the live comments, but hopefully we are up and running now for you all. Big news coming out of Manchester United that Anthony Martial, who was going to start this game, Jose Mourinho had said he was going to be starting this game, and he isn't. He's not starting it. He's not even part of the squad. So it's really disappointing, that, and something that we'll have to sort of bear with and see what happens. That's better. What happened with Martial, says Roy Bacon. And if you are tuning in later on, go to the match reaction link in the video description. But yeah, very disappointing. This has been reported by Rob Dawson. We'll have the Manchester United team news coming for you any moment. But Anthony Martial not expected to be part of it. Not expected to be part of it. Was there at midday and left. And just very disappointing. Very disappointing. As Tarusha says, does that mean that Anthony Martial has left Manchester United? Well, we'll hopefully get some update very soon. But one of the disappointments for me today was that we were not going to see youth in the game anyway. Jose Mourinho had basically said that he was going to use experienced squad. And look, just very disappointed to hear the news around Anthony Martial. Was very excited to see him play this game today, and it appears that he won't. It appears that he will not be involved in this game, and very disappointing. And hopefully we'll get some clarification on that very soon, because we are in a situation of being a little bit blind. But let's see what happens. Very concerning. Team news is out, and I wouldn't expect we'll see Anthony Martial in it. We don't. Very experienced. No kids on the bench. No Martial. Darmian starting. Blind starting. Rojo starting. Carrick obviously starts. McTominay. So the team is Romero, Darmian, Bailly, Rojo, Blind, Carrick, McTominay, Mata, Sanchez, Young, Rashford. On the bench, Pereira, Jones, Shaw, Valencia, Herrera, Pogba, Lingard. I'm just really disappointed with that. Really disappointed no Martial. No kids picked either. I mean, you just wonder. You really do wonder what's going on at Manchester United at the moment with our manager and what he's trying to achieve at Manchester United. It is... somebody said that his girlfriend might have given birth, so maybe that is something to do with it. Martial's girlfriend's in labour. Apparently his girlfriend's gone into labour, says Mark Ellis. Well, it's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Martial, maybe that's the truth. Maybe it's a bit of a rumour. But also, I'd say, regardless what happens with Martial, the truth will come out on that, and maybe we will see. But I'm absolutely stunned, uninspiring starting 11, and not what I wanted to see today. And the same old dead wool. Yeah, I mean, why does Darmian need to start a game of football? Why does Daley Blind need to start a game of football? It's shocking, really is shocking in many senses. But well, we become accustomed to it, isn't it? The lineup is out. I'm not. I'm running a little bit all over the shop at the moment because I did click the wrong link, but I'm a bit gutted, actually. I really am quite disappointed. I don't know what anybody else feels. I'm really disappointed. There might be a real genuine reason why Anthony Martial isn't playing, and it could well be as simple as that his girlfriend's gone into labour. But of most importance to me is I'm just really disappointed about that lineup, because we had a Europa League final after the Crystal Palace game and we still played kids. Why are we not playing kids? Ross, can you hear me? Oh, I thought he was there and now he's gone. Hopefully he'll call me back. But yeah, just very disappointed. I've got to be honest with you. I'd like to see what Ross has got to say, actually, because I'm not... Hey, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, got you now. Sorry.
It's all right. Okay. Mixed opinions in the live comments there. Not one youth player on that squad bet. I mean, the Martial thing, the truth will come out about that. Maybe it's his girlfriend. Maybe something's gone off. I don't know. But just a bit gutted about the lineup myself. What about you?
Yeah, it's really poor. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Why are you not playing Gomez? Why are you not playing Tahiti Chong? It's just bizarre. I know, look, Carrick's a fantastic inclusion. Love that. the rest of them, you know, Darmian, he said he wanted to keep Darmian and Blind. I know he does, but they're never going to play. They're obviously going to go. They're never going to stick around. I just think it's a backwards mentality. I don't know what he's playing at, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed with it. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. I find it really disappointing, and it just kills the game for me. It's not interesting to watch in the slightest.
Well, I mean, just to pick up on that, the reality is that is there anything to be learned from it? And I suppose Martial's not on the bench. No, we'll find out what's happening with him. But looking at that team, and I need to just type it out for everybody so they can see it. But Ashley Young's playing on the wing. I mean, what do we learn from Ashley Young playing on the wing? It's really weird.
Yeah, you learn absolutely nothing. We all know that he's a failed winger. And I think he's actually quite a good left back, and I think it's the only position he can play in a United shirt. Oh yeah, it's just bizarre.
Darmian and Blind as well. I mean, Daley Blind playing at left back. I actually quite like Daley Blind at left back, I must admit, but he hasn't played him there all season. So it's not, as you said there, what are we learning from today? Is he about to start playing Ashley Young on the wing again, which he's not done for 2 years? No. Is he going to start playing Daley Blind at left back, which he's not done all season? No. Is he going to start using Darmian as a right back? Well, we all know that can't happen. It's just picking people for. There's no progression. There's no look to the future. These are players that just aren't going to ever play in them positions, and I think that's why everybody is just very, very upset. I mean, Jacob says this was a very easy opportunity to play some youth with no consequences. Don't understand why he hasn't taken it. I mean, can you sort of justify why he's done it? Superboy calls it a Deadwood lineup.
Yeah, Deadwood lineup, shop window United, isn't it? To be honest, because there's probably a big proportion of that. Although Jose says he doesn't want to sell, if bids come in, they will be gone. And Juan Mata is definitely one of them. He's definitely one of them. Lovely guy, absolutely love him. If a big enough bid comes in, I bet Jose couldn't wait to get rid of him. Which is a shame. Yeah, like you say, nothing to be learned. I really don't. I think it sends out such a backwards message to all of them players. Like I said it last week. You know, when we're looking at these young 16-year-olds trying to beat Real Madrid, trying to beat Bayern Munich, to signing signing these players. I'm looking at Real Madrid played the other day, and they're playing like young talent coming through at right back and beating teams 8-0. United are not doing it. We're not. And if I was a young player at the minute under Jose Mourinho's United, I'd stay well clear of us. And that is such a shame to say because, look, in reality is Gomez got, 8 minutes of football last season or something stupid. And, Jose got lauded for it. But, yeah, it's just not about the youth. And I think it's going to ruin our young players. And it would not surprise me. I mean, would anyone be surprised if in the summer Tahiti Chong just decides that he wants to leave? I mean, I'd be disappointed. I wouldn't be surprised. Because I just don't feel how he's ever going to break into this team.
No, I mean, you mentioned it there. It's a bit of a shop window reserves. I mean, you look at that back five, it really is, isn't it? And I know we like to think that Eric Bailly is part of the first team, but he hasn't been recently because of that weird World Cup decision. Darmian and Blind and Romero, even Rojo is not really first team anymore. McTominay, I suppose he would say is youth, which he is, but it's not really the exciting youth. We've seen a lot of him this season. Just a real. I mean, I don't know. Just some people in the live comments there just saying this is just another example of what Mourinho thinks of Manchester United fans. That he will know that what they wanted to see today, and he purposely doesn't give it. I mean, is he just sadistic, or is because I can't see any. Well, he's the boss. He makes the decision, is what I would say. But actually, what he's done today doesn't actually offer anything other than, well, we might win the game, but so what?
Yeah, it's such a shame because, if I was the coach, games like today, you can generate some real excitement around the club. And the fans, the paying fans, you can really give them something to watch today. I remember when Giggsy did it, when he took over for a few games. He played the young uns, and it was really exciting. Yeah, there's nothing for them fans today. I got offered tickets for this match, and I said no, and it's based on this reason, to be honest. I knew it'd end up like this. look, it's Carrick's testimonial at the end of the day today. That's what it is, and it's going to be a great send-off for him. But, you know, it would have been an even better send-off if Carrick could pass the torch to some players today. It would have been a really lovely sentiment. Instead, he's got Damian Blind and Ashley Young. Yeah, it's not what I wanted to see at all. And yeah, maybe he is sadistic. I think you're right, Mark, because he's not an idiot, Jose. He knows exactly what these fans want. We're not exactly silent in stating what we like, but he just refuses to listen. I can only assume. And he thinks that his way's the right way. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm glad I've got Ross on and all the live comments fine as well, because it's given me a little bit of time to research things. And Simon Stone, who I rank very highly for a journalist, which many people who watch the United Stand will know, for me to say that means a lot, because I don't really think much of journalism. He is very good, and he said that further to Rob Dawson's tweet about Martial, where he said that he'd left the club and wasn't there, Simon Stone has added, Martial came to collect his car just before noon and drove away. I remember Van Nistelrooy doing something very similar ahead of his last game in 2006. Never played for the club again. And just saying them words back, Ross, I know we spoke about it only a few days ago that we expect Martial to go, but when that reality starts to bite in, I mean, I must just add, there's a lot of people saying his wife's gone into, or his girlfriend's gone into labour and he might be for that, but that's two journalists there. One of them that's very, 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 very good. I mean, this is the journalist who clarified the Sir Alex Ferguson situation brilliantly last Saturday night, that the club allowed him to do it before they did. I'm a bit worried about that Martial thing now. I think this could be the end, and it does. I know we spoke about it, and I accept it. It's best for him. It's best for Mourinho. It's not best for us, but we have to accept it. But now it's becoming a reality. It really is. It's very sad.
For me, the reality is, and the sad part is I honestly believe, and remember this quote, I think if it happens, it's the end of Jose Mourinho. And that's not instantly, that'll be into next season, because he's going to let another player go, another De Bruyne, look, I know he didn't get rid of Salah, but whatever, another Salah. Martial's the same. And he will go on, completely prove Jose wrong. And whoever Jose is going to bring in, I mean, who is he going to bring in that's going to be as... Martial's probably one of the most loved players at United. He gets the biggest cheers. Who are you going to replace him with? Look, if it's Neymar, it may shut a few people up, but personally, I think Neymar's an absolute idiot and I don't want him anywhere near our club. I want players like Martial, and I think it'll be the end of Jose. I just think the pressure will build on him too much, because although I will accept the decision, as soon as things start turning, we'll always go back to it. We'll always go back to, why did he sell our best player? And I think that'll haunt him forever. I really do.
Anthony Muller says Jose needs to listen to the fans. The fans are already turning on him, which I think sort of fits in with what you're saying there, Ross. And I do agree. I think Mourinho, if you look at his career, Mourinho will take on the world, because that's what he's always done. But I think this could be a battle too far. Chelsea fell apart around his feet, and I thought he's going to have to learn a lesson there. But he's not interested. Look, he's not interested in the fans, and I don't mean that as I'm a fan, Ross is a fan, you're a fan. Don't take it personally. Mourinho's not interested in the fans. When it's going well, he'll pull in all the praise. But when it's not going well, he won't go, oh, I need to be listening to that. He will do what he wants to do. But, I mean, interestingly, Ross, I mean, I do want to talk about Carrick. I mean, it is about Carrick. But just to add in there, Mourinho, there was an interview that came out today. It was from Manchester United, actually. It was on the Manchester United website. And Mourinho saying that it's going to be a very difficult transfer market to operate in. He spoke about the gap between second and fourth being not many points, but the gap from second to first being 19 points, which is huge. And he said, can this team go from where it is now to title winners next season with that bigger gap and a difficult transfer market? He said, we're going to try. I mean, to me, that just... what's your thoughts on Mourinho saying that? Because to me, it just felt like, well, you're not coming in afresh, Jose. I mean, if you're a new manager, I totally get that. And it's very true, I agree. But surely there needs to be a question about what you've been doing for 2 years. I mean, it's like a new manager coming in. And I think we're falling into that trap. I mean, Paul Merson said it on Wednesday night. I can't believe I'm quoting him, but he said this Man City dominance is almost given Mourinho a get-out-of-jail card, because no one's looking at why the gap's so big. They're just going, the gap's so big, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And he's always been very quick to sort of slander what he inherited. which I think was, that's not a bad thing to do. I think we spoke about this last week as well. It's all right to slander what you inherited. Well, get rid of it then. Get rid of it. Don't sit there and say that you've inherited a load of crap and then continue to play it week in, week out, i.e. Fellaini. And actually, out of what you inherited, the best player there is the one you're getting rid of. That's not right, Jose. That's not right. Begging Fellaini for a contract and booting Martial out the club is just utter nonsense. Look, I think you've kind of said it as well, right? If Martial was, a bad penny, I'd say get rid of him. I thought Nistelrooy was a bad penny. Got rid of him. It was the absolute right decision. I don't think Martial is a bad penny. I don't see it in him. I really don't. I think this is just almost a. Do you know what? If I was Martial and I was to a point bullied a little bit, some people say, "Oh, he's trying to extract the best out of him." Others would consider it right out bullying. If I had an offer from somewhere else, I would go to Old Trafford today. I would get my car and I would sort of say, "Up yours, Jose. I don't want nothing to do with you, mate." So I've absolutely, the one thing I want to, if this is true, the one thing I want to come out of this is I do not blame Martial, and I have no bad feelings towards him at all. It's more the other way, and I'm a Jose fan, but
I'm the same, mate. I really am. I can only echo what you said there, but I will say what I've said for a while now. I agree he needs to go. I'm sad, but you only can bang your head against the brick wall so many times. He's not going to the World Cup because of Jose. A lot of people are saying, well, that's his own fault. Well, no. He was playing absolutely fantastic in January and we replaced him with Sanchez. He was going to the World Cup based on his form. That's reason enough to go as well. I mean, I said last night about Luke Shaw. The team's just up on the right-hand side for their people as well, and we'll go through the Watford team in a minute. Just had a super chat from Justice O, actually, which I'll read. He says, out of all the stupid things Jose has done, I was still Jose in. But this is club tradition. Young players always play meaningless games to improve. Jose has no respect for the club or Manchester United fans. He has to go. I mean, I don't agree with the last statement, Ross, but I do agree with everything up to that this game is meaningless. We can't finish third, we can't finish first. Yes, we've got an FA Cup game next week, but we had a Europa League final last year and we still played the kids against Crystal Palace. It's very, very weird, and I've got no time for Ashley Young playing on the wing when he's not done it for years, no time for Darmian, who's crap, no time for Daley Blind because he's ignored him all season. I've just got no time. The only person I've got time for is Carrick because that's the importance of today. But the general team there is just, I'm good. I'm baffled as to why he keeps compounding the misery and uncertainty that some United fans have around his management. It's weird. It's like he's got no PR guy. He's got no understanding of how he can turn this around and what needs to happen. And I look at that Watford team. Let's just have a look at the Watford team very, very quickly. So Andre Gray, Will Hughes, Richarlison, Delafeu, Decore, I can't pronounce his name, but that isn't a terrible front. I mean, Watford's season has gone off a bit of a cliff, but that's not a terrible front six. And you look at our front six of Rashford, Mata, Young, Sanchez, Carrick and McTominay. And if Watford are up for it, and that's a big if, they could actually come and get a result.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And you know what we're like at home. And the worrying thing is I think a lot of the players out there, well, not a lot of them, some of them, they're not fighting for a place. I mean, Belinda and Darmian are not fighting for a place at all. They're going to go. If they've got any brain cells about them, they will go, because Blind would be a fantastic player, probably in the Italian league. I think he could dominate that league, in all honesty, the way he defends. Darmian, probably the same. They've got fantastic futures and careers elsewhere. So they're not fighting for a place today at all. So you've not got a team of fighters. So yeah, Watford could come and get a result today, because regardless of what United team it is, if they get a win against United, it's great PR. It's great going into the next season. So they've got a lot to play for today. United have got nothing, and they've got players out there that have got nothing really to play for either. I'm slightly worried. I think my Mata's going to go. Do you know what? I think there was a quote, and it may have come from DT. I've no clue, but it stuck with me, and it was, even if United won the title, would fans be happy knowing that they sold their soul to do it? And that's kind of how I'm feeling at the minute, because we're sort of selling our identity for Jose Mourinho at the minute. He will win us a title. I've got no doubts about it. I really don't. I think he'll take us far. it's whether we want to do it that way or not. And I'm starting to have my doubts and concerns, to be honest.
Andrew M says that Jose won't last past next season. And I must just try and shout this person out. Sorry, it's whizzed by. That's the problem with the Matchday stream. Apparently, MUTV have said that Martial's injured. And maybe, look, we've got to be careful about the Martial thing. The thing that annoys me the most is that if he's injured, his wife's pregnant, whether he's been dropped or whatever, it probably is the last time we're going to see him. And also, he's got no chance of starting in the FA Cup final now. None. I don't think he had a great chance anyway. But he's got none now. He will not start next week at all. He might not even make the bench. So, a sad end to what was a very, very exciting player. But for me, the most important thing is, and I think Ross and everyone has mentioned it, is that it's the lack of youth. I mean, you could also flip it on its head and said Martial's injured and still Chong doesn't get involved. I mean, that is even worse, isn't it? The youth is the problem for me. Not using any youth today and putting a crap 11 like that out that's just uninspiring is really disappointing. And I think it's almost a metaphor for the season, really. That lineup there in a meaningless game is dull and boring. And maybe they'll win 4-0. But the big positive, Ross, and we must pull in the positive, is that another sad aspect is that, and I suppose it's not as sad as it could be because we've hardly seen him this season anyway, but Michael Carrick's last game.
Yeah, I was watching some great things on Twitter with like people sending their support to him, which I think is great. I'm tipping him for our assistant manager job. I don't know if I'm out the loop there, or whether we're going to go with someone else, but I just got a feeling he may take it.
Under 21 coach, under 18 Kieran McKenna apparently, which I think is quite a big risk really. But yeah, apparently it's going to be him.
Oh, fair dues. And then Carrick go into a similar role, but no, I think he's great servant to the club. Yeah, and it's sad to see him go, but at the same time, he's going with his head held high, and he's still playing football. But look, he should have retired last season. But do you know what? I commend him for taking another year, not for himself, but for the team. Because although we didn't need him, it was the right decision. So I think he's a great servant for the club. Yeah, I haven't really got a lot more to say to that. Probably one of my favourite midfielders at United, but I didn't think that at the time. I went through a couple of seasons of absolutely hating Michael Carrick. I'm not ashamed to say it. I hated him. I thought he was a sideways passer. I think it just took me to educate myself and to realise actually what a magician he was, to be honest. And really sort of grew on me, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just tweeting something out just to update people. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a massive fan of Michael Carrick, and I'm old enough to have seen him, pretty much from day one at Manchester United, and very, very big fan of his, and a super player with. Look, I used to get very, very frustrated when he wasn't in an England squad, especially in 2012 when they went with Scott Parker, I think it was. And there has been mistakes made around the England thing, but the Manchester United setup, his consistency has been second to none. And he has been described as Marmite in the past, and the press don't get him. Some Manchester United fans don't get him or didn't get him. But the reality is, I've never seen a midfielder read the game better than him. I've never really seen him doing last-ditch tackles, which, as somebody who's played football to a decent level and, done a bit of coaching and stuff, that, a slide tackle's great and we all love it. But the players who don't slide tackle are the best players because they don't need to. They're already in the right position. His passing ability off both feet on the ground forward is unparalleled by any English midfielder. Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, they can't pass like he passes. It's eye of the needle, forward passing over 50 yards. It's stunning. Positional sense, amazing. I just think Carrick probably, apart from Manchester United, where he was appreciated by the best manager there's ever been, Sir Alex Ferguson, I just think Carrick, personality-wise, is probably a little backwards going forwards. Probably doesn't put himself forward a lot, and I think that probably let him down a little bit. And he did say that England, it depressed him, and he's not the first player to say that. It depressed him, and he wasn't really at his best when he played for England. But as a Manchester United player, absolutely amazing. Very, very sad. And, everyone always says, Ross, that if we could have Scholes back, or Keane back, or Giggs back, or Beckham back, but I'd stick Michael Carrick in that midfield. It misses somebody, and he is quicker than Matic, not by a lot. But the thing that I don't like about Matic is he is good at breaking up the play, but he's a B-Tech Carrick. I mean, the passing range that Carrick's got, the reading of the game that Carrick's got. I think Matic is a better tackler, but Carrick's the ultimate. If you could stick a prime Carrick in front of your back four, as Rooney, as Ronaldo, as everybody has always said, when Carrick's playing in that midfield, it gives you that confidence that you don't really have to be thinking about what's going on behind you that much, because he can run the show.
Definitely, but another thing I will add is he was very lucky to have Sir Alex Ferguson as his manager, because there was a manager that didn't care, because Carrick used to lose the ball quite a lot because he wasn't scared out of trying that 40-yard pass, wings to Ronaldo and Rooney. And it worked sort of 1 out of 10 times. And Fergie always used to encourage it, always used to encourage something different. Now, in this current Manchester United team, would Carrick have flourished as he did in the Fergie era? I think not, because he'd be, Ferguson, Jose doesn't want players to play with flair at the minute.
Well, he doesn't want them to pass forward like that, does he?
No, he wants them to, not lose the ball. I mean,
I'll tell you where he'd be brilliant. I'll tell you who would love him. Pep would love him and Klopp would love him, because that ability to pass forward very, very quickly and just marshal the midfield, they would love him. And that's why Sir Alex loved him. You're probably right. I've never thought about it. Because Mourinho, this season, he's not really played. And like you say, probably it's been a bit of a token gesture, him staying this season, because he's hardly been used. But last season, I seem to remember, we had a good start. Then we went off a bit around October. Then he brought Carrick into the team in November. And we went on a really good run over Christmas. Then we played Liverpool at Old Trafford in January. Liverpool absolutely swamped him. And Mourinho never played him again, despite we'd gone on a really good run. And I think you can always tell with Mourinho what players he likes and what he doesn't like. Because if it's Lingard or Lukaku or Matic, if they had a bad game, they'll still play the next week. But if it's one of his players he doesn't like and they have a bad game, you don't see him again.
No, yeah, spot on. And Pogba's in that category as well as a not liked in a minute, I think, which I find bizarre because it's his signing. But I was looking at today's team sheet actually, and look, McTominay, you could call Jose's man and you could call Alexis Sanchez's man. Apart from that, this is Louis van Gaal's team that he's put out today. And look, McTominay come through the youth anyway. So as you said earlier, he's had 2 seasons to sort of turn this around, get rid of the deadwood, recruit great players. And look, I know some people are resting ninja today. This is Louis van Gaal's team out today. And you know what? If we lose, he'll probably come out with a comment like that as well, because Jose knows what he's doing. He knows how to defend himself. Yeah, well, we've got the FA Cup though, so if we win that, is it a good season? That question will always get sort of distributed around. And I'm going to have to say yes, but when I look at what's happened to the squad, what's gone on, the morale, I'll tell you it's not a good season. Because going into next year, although I hate them a lot, momentum is a big thing, and Liverpool and City have it in abundances. And we're almost, every transfer window, it looks like we're starting again. What we should be doing is signing 2 or 3 players just to supplement the great team that we already have. It's almost like we're starting again. I mean, I look on Twitter, it's right back, left back, another centre back, 2 centre midfielders. We need another winger now if Martial goes. We need a forward. It's ridiculous, the amount of recruitment needed in this team, when all we've been doing since Fergie left is spending abundances of money. It's bizarre.
Justice O says Jose has took the excitement out of the team. Playing the youth raises morale and happiness in the team going into the final. Jose's ego leads him to make the dumbest mistakes. Won't work at the biggest club in the world. And Alfie Bloomfield says, what the hell is that lineup? I have passionate hate for Young at left back after Shaw was the only one fighting for the team. And Jose says Shaw isn't bothered. I suppose Shaw could have played today, actually. Good point. He isn't. He's playing Daily Blind. I mean, it's like Ross said. It's a Deadwood 11 where he's putting people in the shop window, but actually he didn't really need to do it. I think he's putting people to sleep. I actually hope Watford come and play well, and I hope we win. But I would love Watford to come here today and absolutely put in a real shift against us, because if he's picked the wrong team and we lose it, he's going to look an idiot, because he could have gone very, very differently. But I just hope somebody comes and gives us a game, because otherwise it's just going to be another lethargic draw. 1-1 is what Drawty said at lunchtime. I wouldn't mind at least one youngster playing like Gomez or Chong, says Mohammed. And, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Gomez played a year ago. He came on as a sub for Rooney. A year later, he's getting less game time. It's baffling, really, isn't it? We thought we were on the cusp of something with that. Martial's girlfriend's in labour, says Jack Parry. He's injured, is what MUTV says. So, if you think he's in labour or you think he's injured, that's another two different stories, isn't it? So, you know, it's more about whether it's his last game gone for me. But of more importance is the fact that we've not played any youth today. It just absolutely baffles me. Really baffled by it. But that's the measure of the man. Sorry, Ross, were you trying to interject there?
Didn't Jose play a young left winger in the last game of last season and sell him about 3 weeks afterwards? So I can distinctly remember left winger having a really good game, scoring a couple of goals, I think, and then he was
Josh
gone
Carrick, wasn't it? Yeah, he did.
That's it.
There was a few people played. I think Dimitri Mitchell played in that game as well. He played quite a few, and today, I don't know. I've long past trying to determine what's going on in relation to Jose. It's just difficult, very, very difficult. He's his own man. He does his own thing, and that's about as far as I can go with it, because it's not what any of us would do. Jamie says, I'm not falling into the trap that he's injured either. He wouldn't have gone to Old Trafford at 12 if he was injured. You know what? Well done to Jamie. It's exactly the same thing that's in my head, Ross. Very easy to say a player's injured, isn't it? But I suspect we might have seen the last of him, to be honest. Got a few super chats coming in. We will lose all our youth talent under Jose, says King Renzel. And Nightmare TV think there needs to be something at press conference where fans can ask 1 or 2 questions and express their opinion to the manager. Well, I suppose that would be nice, Ross, especially as a fan channel. We'd all love that. But I suppose it's a bit like asking questions of the referee after the game. I don't think any manager's going to put themselves in that situation.
No, I don't think so. Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, do you know what? It's really bad. My mind's all over the place at the minute. 'Cause I'm actually looking around Europe, thinking, okay, what is our alternative to Jose? And that's what I'm worried about at the minute. Because look, we've stuck with Jose. I'm still happy we got him, but I don't know. Yeah, he's really starting to turn me at the minute. And this is, like I say, nothing game. This is an absolute nothing game. I should just watch this and enjoy it. But I just don't like what's going on at our club at the minute. I think there's a toxic atmosphere that needs to get sorted out quick. And they need to. Sometimes, it's not for the manager to find out. The chairman and the CEOs and everyone around the club need to realise what's going on. Why is it toxic? And remove whoever it is. And if Martial goes, is that going to suddenly change the atmosphere? No, if anything, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sort of park the Martial thing now because I'm getting all sorts of messages from people saying apparently he's gone to the hospital, apparently he's injured. It'll all come out in the wash, but yeah, interesting. Anyway, Ross, I shall let you get off. You've done a good half an hour for us there. I bet you didn't think it was going to be that exciting, the team chat about the Watford game.
No, that's it. I thought we could just chat about other stuff for half an hour, but no. Yeah, it's been interesting. Hopefully we win it, and I suppose the next time I speak to you will be the FA Cup. So hopefully we'll be in better spirits for that, mate.
Yeah. Well, we definitely won't be seeing Darmian or Ashley Young on the wing for that. So small mercies.
Is it on TV today, mate?
No, we've got Jared joining us because he's in America, so he can watch it. But no, it's not. To be honest, I can't blame Sky or BT for not putting it on. To be honest, I think there'll be some United fans who can't be arsed now. But there you go.
Excellent.
Formula One's on, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah, speak to you in a bit, mate.
Yeah, mate. Bye.
I've got to be honest, my loyalties probably would have been to Formula One. I like my Formula One, but I can't miss a United game. Everyone would know what I was doing. So, but yeah, I don't blame people if they are watching it because, Jose has... as I said, my hope is that Watford turn up and give us a game of football because that will make it quite interesting. And hopefully, Carrick, very, very excited to see Carrick playing. Rashford, I'd like to see him whacking some goals as a number 9. It's another game for Alexis Sanchez to put something in, I suppose. Jeff says, do you still want Jose Mourinho to stay? Yeah, look, I do. I want him to stay. Ben, keep us up to date with the Grand Prix because I can't do anything about it while I'm live. We have got Jared joining us because they can watch it in America. Mourinho is Louis van Gaal with better results and no youth, says Sapatish Banerjee. And Dowd's Skill says, realising that the rebuild will be bigger after another year of Mourinho, as we will have less potential in the bigger team than ever before. Interesting point there. But yeah, it is. We knew it was coming. He said he wasn't gonna. He said we wasn't going to pick the youth, didn't he? So anyway, I did put this up before. Oh, got that stuck down there. I did put this up before. Little mobile. This is the SofaScore app. Now, a lot of people will know, well, they might not know. But what I wanted to show you was, if I just go to leagues and England, he says, and I want to go to Premier League matches, and where was Manchester United West Ham, wasn't it? No, not Manchester City West Brom. My phone's gone a little bit slow here. West Ham Manchester United, as you can see there, if we click on Alexis Sanchez, oh yeah, we go. SofaScore ratings. I just want to show you how you can get the heat maps, basically. Oh, my phone's just gone. My phone's dying here. I think it's because I'm using so much stuff on my thing. Chris Smalling, 6.9. Statistics. Attack momentum's quite good on the SofaScore thing. It shows you how peaks on the graph are showing the pressure of a team throughout the match, which is really good. But we can do that in a minute. What I wanted to do is, and it's my fault because I wasn't doing it properly. I would like to see an attempt. Right, okay. So let me click Jesse Lingard. This is the SofaScore app, Ratik. The link is in the video description for it. You can get players' average position, which is good. It's unfortunate because this is nothing to do with the app. This is to do with my computer. It's probably just got a lot of things running on it. But effectively, lineups. Aaron, nothing updated on Martial at the moment. This is the app with the heat map snaps, yeah. Basically, my computer's gone very, very slow, but you can just go into the match info and we'll get some heat maps up and running on it. But we'll come back to that. It might just be my phone. It's playing up a little bit. Wise Kit says he's already falling asleep. Yes, that's the. Anyway, God knows what's going wrong with that. But the link in the video description is for SofaScore. That's what we use on the United stand for the heat map, so you can see there's all sorts of good statistics on there. The attack momentum thing, which is really good when the game's actually up and running. I'm going to try and show it when the game's up and running. Really, really good, because it will show you how the attack momentum's going. It'll probably flatline in a game like this, but if you're interested in heat maps and all that sort of stuff, that'd be really good. Apparently Anthony Martial is at the ground now, says Chief Cliff. God knows what's going on there. MUTV have said he's injured, which is what Hamad said. Some people have said that it was because of his girlfriend. I think the FA Cup final is the highest stakes game this season, says Elijah. I think you're totally right, mate. Score prediction, says Troy Scott. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. It's difficult because we don't know which way it's going to go, do we? I'd like to say it's going to go the way we want it to go, but it's I suppose it's about how United want to perform in it. Yeah, it works absolutely perfectly when I've got it on my phone there like that. That's bloody annoying. How annoying is that? I'll tell you what I can do. West Ham United versus Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez and let's see if that works. Man United fan says, I want Carrick to score. I think if we got a penalty, that would work. Apparently Pereira's at the game as well, says Ashraf. Pereira is back. Mind Games Mark says, Jose has rested Lukaku for the final and he's giving the last game for some today. Braggle, I don't know what you're on about with your mind games there. Of course, we all know that. We all know that. There's no surprises there. 1-0 to United, optimistically, says Zane Scope. And is it true? Let's have a look at some of the live comments. Watford 4-0, says Prince Frisch. I don't know whether Jose can deal with that sort of thing happening today. Maybe Manchester United will buy Willian. Jose, he is Brazilian, says Anthony Muller. Watford to win 2-0, says Scott Aitken. Yep, do give us your links. Your score predictions. Bosman Prince has made a contribution. Thank you to that. Okay, right, I got it working now. I just want to demonstrate how this works. Right. There you go. So that's Jesse Lingard from the last game, and you can see his heat map there. So I've got my little arrow for you. So the heat map, Lingard's heat map's never very good. It's never good. But as you can see, it's slightly orange around this area in here. Lots of little bits of yellow. But Lingard's is never that good because he never really seems to get on the ball that much. He's better off the ball, if that makes sense. But 3-1 to United. Let's see if we can check somebody else's. I thought Luke Shaw's heat map might be quite good, actually. Rashford up front will be interesting, says Lucas Letter. Well, I hope it is. I hope it is. The bus is ready. Why is Martial not starting, please? Says Ibrahima. Your hopes are as much as are as interesting as ours, to be honest. Which app is this? This is SofaScore. SofaScore. 2-1 to Watford or 0-0, says Deepak. Sandro has signed, says I am me. Well, I did do a video on That's Football, actually, about that. And we'll see what happens with regards to that. But maybe. Duncan Castles is very, very close to Jose Mourinho. Okay, we've got a super chat. No, we haven't got a super chat question. Richard, I kind of see it. We will win the treble next season, says Fionn Curtin. He's on the drink early. Biosphere, if you ever make a comment like the one I timed you out for again, I'll bang you without hesitation, says George Kyle. Well, Bio, that'd be a shame. Be careful on the live comments, everybody, is what I would say. Jacob Sant says, well, he's a Liverpool fan. There's a triple coming in for them next year. Yeah, you're on the beer as well. Afaf says, no Gomez or Chong. That's disgusting. And 2-1 to Watford, says H-Star Productions. Martial's being rested. I love the positivity of some people that Martial is being rested. Yeah, of course he is, mate. Of course he is. You carry on here, going to be bitched out, behave, says Jacob, you scouser. Second place and an FA Cup is a good season, says what about Sandro, says Lucas. Mourinho's testing Rashford in striker for the FA Cup final, says Tom Blyberg. Yeah, probably. Matthew, I'll go. It's very easy for me to go back and check them anyway. So I think there's some real bitching going on in the live comments today. Really moody people. Look, we don't pick the team on the United stand. Neither do you. If you're not happy about it, then just take a chill pill. Go and watch the Formula One if you're not interested. But stop having a pop at people. I can see you all in the live comments. Really irritable. Really irritable. My score prediction, Mohammed. Oh God, difficult to predict. I'm going to go with United to win 2-1, I think. 2-1, I think. Thoughts on Rojo, says Christopher White. I think Rojo's a good player. Look, don't be surprised if we get a poor United performance today, because we are, of course, in a situation where we're in a situation now where you're going to play a whole load of players that haven't played together in a long time. I mean, Ashley Young on the left and on the wing is just ridiculous. I haven't got a problem with Ashley Young playing on the wing, but difficult. Martial's cousin has confirmed that Martial has a little discomfort in his leg, says 316. And love and peace, people. Love and peace, says MT. Majority of the live comments are good, just spoiled by monitoring. Oh, yeah, okay. Mark, thoughts on who should be assistant, Pankaj? Well, it's a good question. I mean, my choice for Manchester United assistant would be Brave, and it would be, without question, I would go for Roy Keane. Yeah, I cannot move away from that. It would be Roy Keane. I think he's, without doubt, the right person for the job. And yeah, I don't think we would get him, but I think if you want somebody who's going to give everybody a kick up the backside, he's the one I would go for. He was the one I would go with, without a question. Kick up the backside, understands what Manchester United are all about. Yeah, that's where I would go with it. But I think we're going to get the assistant from the under-18s, which is Brave. And he does like to play an attacking brand of football. Whether it turns out to be the right choice or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it's... yeah... the thing about that is, and I know I'm being a little bit non-committal, but the thing about that is that in relation to this assistant, I don't think Mourinho wanted Rui Faria to go anywhere. I thought it was a real positive decision, but again, it's a bit like Fellaini leaving. If Fellaini leaves, it's because Fellaini wants to leave. Mourinho wants him to stay, and I think with Faria, it's because he wants to leave, and Mourinho wanted him to stay. So I think it sort of goes hand in hand with it, I suppose, like that. I wouldn't take Riyad Mahrez Pratic. I'm not really impressed with him. I know he's a good player, but Roy Keane, it's never going to happen. Dark Star as well. I totally agree with you. Andrew Malloy says it's a depressing lineup. And Mini Diver says Roy Keane is a no yes man guy. He won't take no ball from the board, fans or anyone. Yeah. He'd be brilliant. He's exactly what United need. They need somebody who understands what the club's all about. who's going to give people a kick up the backside in the dressing room, who understands what leadership's all about. He'd be absolutely brilliant, but I've got more chance of getting it than Roy Keane, and I've got no chance. So there you go. The whole class of 92 past players, Jose, they will not come back, says Harris. Nicky Butt's been mentioned. Awful team. We should be playing the likes of Chong and Gomez, even Borthwick Jackson, and not players that are leaving, says Sharper Plays. I think that's a fantastic comment. I think it echoes how a lot of people feel. Pulisic or Perisic, says Mohammed. A lot of people asking what channel they're watching it on. It's not available in the UK. We've got Jared coming on, and they can watch it in America. So don't get me started on this. It frustrates the life out of me how you cannot watch your club play football unless you actually go to the game. But, you know, unless they're going to open up a 5 million capacity stadium in the UK, not all fans will be able to watch it anyway. So it is very annoying, but there we go. Ashvin's now saying that Martial's confirmed to be in hospital with his girlfriend who's in labour. So many different stories. Goodbye, Mark. People are calling me racist for an environmental comment, and a moderator calls me out. Been nice chatting with you. I'm done with this. Well, that's sad. Bio. I'll certainly pick it up with the moderators. I don't know. As I said, I just sense there's a bit of toxicity on the live comments today, but I'll certainly look into it, Bio, because I'm not happy when people are threatened with blocks either. So, you know, but I don't know what's been said, so it's very difficult. What about Ryan Giggs, says Thomas Stack? Well, he's manager of Wales. Depressing end to a depressing season, says Simon Little, even if we win the cup. And I think we'll get Van Gaal as an assistant from Mourinho, says Jerome de Vries. That would push me to be Mourinho out. That would be enough to put me out. Barrick says you're a Brexit racist. Okay, you're gone. He's wrong on both parts. Blaney is not playing. Don't be so angry, everybody, says Daniel. Well, it's only because he's injured. He'll be back for the final. And Jose did it at Chelsea and he's doing it here, says Liam Murphy. The players will turn against him. He's upset with them and the way he treated Shaw and now Martial. If everyone wants to know, see you, Tom. You're gone as well. Make Man United great again, says Donald Trump. Imagine if it was the real one. David Moyes as assistant. And KB 10,000 says I preferred Van Gaal over Jose anyway. 8 minutes to kick off. God, this is a game to try and stay awake. I mean, how sad is that? We've not even kicked off, and I think people are irritated and annoyed. It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Where's my live comments? Turner, in relation to Neymar, don't think he's going to come. Don't think Neymar's going to come. I think DiMarzio put something out this morning saying that we are that PSG have said they're 2,000% sure that he will go. He will stay at PSG. How is Darmian a professional footballer? Says Jack Neville, and McTominay to score 5, says Jamzo Boy. Manchester Evening News saying Martial was hurt in training, says Grant Puckett. It's interesting why he came to the game at midday then. Fair no, says Mark, you are delusional. Well, It's one thing being delusional, isn't it? But we are... well, it's one thing being delusional, like I say, but also what I want to say is that if you don't give me a reason why, it's very, very, very difficult to sort of give you an answer as to why I'm to being accused of being deluded. Well, it's disappointing because the Watchalong image was actually Anthony Martial as well. I'm gutted. I'm genuinely gutted, but it's been a recurring theme this season, hasn't it? It's been a recurring theme this season. Disappointment. Yeah. I feel very lethargic and tired already. That's probably one of the most tiring hours we've had before a game in quite a long time. Just feel very, very tired. Very, very tired. Anyway, please do drop a like on the video. We're way short of 1,000 likes for a win. I don't think people give a shit, do they? And also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're new to the United Stand, this is going to be a very interesting summer is all I'm going to say. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get your notifications on by clicking the bell and get all notifications because we will just go live. Transfers, people leaving. It can happen at midnight, it can happen at midday, it can happen 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and it will happen. It's happened like this for the last 3 years we've been doing it. We are a live content channel, but we are live every night at 8 o'clock, and we have got our Transfer Daily show that goes up at 7 a.m. Monday to Friday. So they're 2 times where you can always find us. But in between that, in the summer, it will just go off. There'll be stories going around the time, and we will go live. So get involved. Subscribe and please do share the video. Let's grow the community. It's a fantastic community that we've got. Connor the Red, I totally agree with you, and our moderators are doing good jobs. So just write out how to get girls. You're not banned because I can see your comments. De Gea or Sanchez should be our captain, says Christian Kazar. I don't think you can give it to Alexis Sanchez seriously, can you? I'm waiting for Jared to join me because he will be joining me very, very soon. So that will be good. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with it. It's I don't know. We might see if United might actually score more than 4 goals for the first time under Jose Mourinho. Imagine if that happens. So we might get treated to something we've never seen. So there we go. Fellaini to be the next assistant. Says Bean Hernandez. I've got Jared joining me now. Hi, Jared. Can you hear me? Good, thanks. How about you?
Great. Obviously, perfect team lineup. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah, there's some funny aspects to it. I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet before we get off with the game. And we're driven by you today because... I presume it's on the network in America for you all to watch.
It is on USA if anyone is in America looking for it. We actually have every game on TV today, which is kind of funny.
All right, okay. I'll be back with you in a minute. Give us some thoughts on your team, mate.
Yeah, so I'm not thrilled. I don't know what you guys think of the lineup, but I think we're all pretty consistent that we would have liked to see. Some youth, which is unfortunate. And Jerry's back. Yes, Fellaini's world class. If people keep saying, did you ban me, but we can see the line, then yeah, you're good. How you doing, Minnie? Yeah, I mean, it's tough because you can't watch this game anywhere else but really in America because a lot of the games aren't shown anywhere else. So don't worry, we'll start having to pay for it soon anyway. Aran, what do I make of the lineup? I think Jose missed an opportunity. I don't think we can really expect too much out of him anymore, so I think it's more we wanted to see 1 or 2 people get a chance. Gomez, Chong, anyone, just to show us that there was some youth potential. I can't understand why he didn't do it, honestly. But I'm curious, like if he had played Chong and developed him, would you guys be okay if Chong came in and had the chances that Martial had next year? Because I don't think he's going to be able to keep Chong off the first team next year. I live in New York. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's tough with the computer and stuff. It's a disgrace the team has no youth in it. I think everyone's pretty consistent about that. But it's the last game of the season besides the FA Cup. We can't be negative. These are things we all expect with Mourinho. So, yeah, Matthew Stratus, Chong is injured. So I guess how many people aren't injured? And if that's the case, then Mourinho maybe needs a medical issue because it seems that we had a lot of people continuously getting hurt. And yeah, I mean, I'm upset for Martial. I think he's such a fan favorite that the World Cup is something where, like me being in America, we don't have a team. We would have loved to see him in it. And I put blame on Mourinho for that. But again, can't blame him for everything. There's something that happened behind the scenes that made Martial not essential to play. And I don't know what it is. But until he's sold off the team, he's still on it. And he's still got potential to come back in it.
Definitely. I'm back in the room anyway. If you can let us know when the game kicks off on yours, Jared, because you're going to be the one driving this today.
Not a problem. It is actually about to kick off now. Okay. Fans look pretty good.
Well, we must remember that it's also a celebration for Michael Carrick as well, isn't it? Which is the most important thing.
I do like that Mourinho's taken to Carrick in a coaching role. I don't think that's very easy. You know, I think that's underestimated because Carrick is such a big character that if you're an egomaniac, you almost don't want him in the room. So I think it's impressive that he immediately said, you're not leaving, you're staying as a coach, gave him a coaching outfit. I just think that's a big thing. It's a big thing because he could have gotten him out of the locker room if he was uncomfortable with things, and he clearly feels he's a good voice to have.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's have a look.
39, 40, 41, 42.
Yeah, I've started that timer off, so that's good. I'm just trying to get this app working, but my phone, which works perfectly, is now not working well with the mirroring point of this, which is a shame. It might start in a minute.
You know what to say. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, even when you've been testing it, it will.
Well, the Manchester United golden rule. So, I mean, are people now not excited for the game? Imagine if Liverpool bottled top four. There is absolutely 0% shot of that happening. Especially with Salah playing. But who cares? They'll blow the final. We'll call it a day. 11 to 1. For everyone who's not betting today, I decided to lay off the first half bet like normal. Yeah. Watford. I mean, nothing really happening.
I'll be back in a minute.
Chinese food is there for Mark.
Why is it that much?
That's the one thing that I like, that you guys get to watch football in the afternoon. Whereas, like, for us in the States, a lot of it is early morning for the West Coast and then morning for the East Coast. So it's like we're waking up to it. I had just stumbled to Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee. Game stuff. There's a shout out. Hello. We're in New York, Manhattan. 2 minutes down. Oh, Jared. Error today. Carrick, the last player of a generation, success at United with the likes of Rooney, Vidic, Ferdinand, Ronaldo. You know, I really got to say, Shaka Phillips, it is a concerning thing that we could be going into a little bit of a dry spell. We're already in one, but that's why they hire Mourinho. Hopefully they were right. It's fun. It's not warm in New York. Shit weather all the time. All right, I mean, Sanchez is always running towards the ball. Watford, they look composed, controlled. Nice little run at the ball. Ooh. Bai held him up a little bit, but it's okay. The Knicks are terrible, yes. Not going to get on American Express. Now dominated.
I find it
Now we get
hilarious that every time I'm doing a live stream, my Amazon delivery seems to want to come. But there we go.
That's nice. I always get excited by Amazon deliveries. You never know what you get. It's like a Kinder surprise. Watford, I mean, look, Watford seem up for it, and that's the difference. No matter what team, no matter where they stand, playing at Old Trafford for another team, they're always going to be up for it. So we can never let up. It's not like playing at the Etihad where no one gives a shit. Oh, terrible play. Romero, you know, I'm curious what happens with him this year. I think this is his probable last year with the club. He'll probably go. I think there's supposed to be a lot of goal-changing changes over the course of the year. What parts of New York do you recommend? Never anywhere else but Manhattan. Maybe Brooklyn if you're tortured enough, but go to Manhattan.
I've got a few people I'll just interject there for a moment. I've got a few people asking me what I've ordered from Amazon. So yeah, so what I've ordered from Amazon is yeah, not a Martial jersey. I've ordered some things that I wanted for my own channel actually, which I will reveal. Nothing sordid anyway. But yeah, we'll certainly deliver that. But we do get deliveries on a Sunday here in the UK from Amazon, which is good. I'm not sponsored by Amazon, I must just say, but we are. We do get those, which is good. But yeah, I mean, how's it going, Jared, with the game? Lots of people are asking.
That's good. Just some updates for everyone who cares. Leicester's up already, 1-0. I mean, in our game, it just seems to be a bunch of sideways passing, but pretty consistent. The calm, nothing really happening. So standard first half for us.
I'm still battling to get my app working so I can show everybody on the screen. So basically, the link in the video description is there for SofaScore, and I'm just trying out a little bit of a thing. It's and that's what I use for my heat map. So I'll try and get it up there. But a lot of people always ask what app do you use, and we do use the SofaScore app, which is brilliant on my phone, but for some reason it won't mirror very well. So we'll sort it out for the FA Cup final. But yeah, I mean, the danger for this game was always that we will that it's not a great United 11. And lovely sunny weather though in Manchester, and hopefully the atmosphere will stay. I mean, I think that the one big highlight we know we're going to get is that Michael Carrick will come off and get a standing ovation. Yeah.
I mean, Watford just took a corner by, got it out, bossed the box. He's so exciting to see play. And Carrick, yeah, I mean, this is all about him. And, you know, maybe that's the Mourinho logic in it, but if it is, I hate it even more. Like, maybe he's like, I don't want to distract Carrick's game by playing people for the first time like Chong and others, which better not be his logic, but I could see that being Mourinho's logic. I really could. The other one, Mark, about an assistant coach, and I was bringing this up before, do you think there is any shot Mourinho goes after Klopp's assistant coach?
Oh, I mean, it's not a terrible shout, but it's probably not one that I would be overjoyed by, to be honest, because it's a bit like, well, I don't like the saying, but it is a bit like sloppy seconds, isn't it? He's a Liverpool man, but
well, I don't count him as a Liverpool man yet. He's a Klopp man. But I don't know. I mean, that's probably one style of play Jose is not comfortable with, and it would be interesting to see him expose himself to that style of play. But I don't see it happening. We're making a nice little run here. Mata down the side. And that run is over. So back to talking. Yes, Young is tragic. I actually see some goals coming in this game. I am shocked that in the UK they don't let you watch. Mata in the box. And we gave it away. Watford on the count.
Asking what channel it's on in India, if we've got anybody watching from there. We haven't actually done that, so do let us know in the live comments where you're watching from. Remember, this isn't the end of the season. I know there's a lot of people upset about Martial's situation, and you know I do agree with that. But remember, it's not the end of the season. We've got a very, very big game coming up next week. It's called the FA Cup Final. I totally get it. I totally get it. What people are on about in the live comments about how has he gone for such a negative sort of lineup today, but he could have played some youth. Of course he could. Nobody's doubting that, but he hasn't, and he said he wasn't going to do it, and I don't actually know the reason why. Nobody really does, but
no, I don't think it's acceptable that he didn't play one of them. But nothing, it's worse. It was more hope than expectation. Like, I had hoped that he was going to play one of them, but I kind of in my head had this feeling that nothing was going to go the right way for that lineup change. And once Martial went to give birth, you knew it was over. Richarlison, he kicked it into the Stretford end. 10 minutes go by, and shockingly, no goals. Yeah, Watford have had a shit season too, so they want to finish on a strong note. Nothing stronger than bringing us to either 0 goals or nicking a win. The Phil 6688. Just wait until Kieran McKenna becomes Jose's assistant. Attacking football coming our way. I don't know if that's sarcasm, but if it isn't, cool. Daniel MUFC, any chance yet? Not really. Romero fluffed a ball, but that was about it. Nothing really. Again, congrats to De Gea on the Golden Glove. And Watford making a big run here. Nice pass. And shockingly, Darmian makes it play. Bai is so unbelievable with his footwork on the ball. I just think if they do manage to pull off that Umtiti transfer, that will be an unbelievable pairing, him and Umtiti. I really do. I think it'll be perfect. So I hope that happens. Jaden. Who the hell is Jaden? There we go. Sanchez bossing Watford. Tamata on the right. You're going to make a cross in.
Bored, says Paul Gibson. I knew that would start good. Playing good, though, says Valentino.
Oh, nice play by Darmian. Draws a corner. Very nice play. Yeah, De Gea did deserve the Golden Glove. Especially in a season like this, the fact that he managed to win it just shows how good he is. I'm thrilled that he looks like he's staying. Thrilled. That's one thing you actually said, Mark, that I was shocked with. Because normally, like every other year, you were like, he's leaving. This year, I think you were like, he's going to stay. And it looks like he is. Oh, nothing with the corner. Mata's going to take a nice little shot. He's got Rashford out, which is weird. Oh, Rashford with a long effort over the bar. For anyone wondering, in the U.S., it is on USA Network. Or if you're not home and you're watching on your phone, it's on NBC Sports on your thing. Tottenham have already tied it, so I made the wrong bet. Son of a bitch. All right. Watford, composed at the back. I mean, it's so boring. It's just crazy. You want him to be blitzing Watford. My cat is even falling asleep. No. USA Network, it's owned by NBC. It has nothing to do with the U.S. Nobody would watch any network like that. Network time isn't synced to Mark's. Yeah, it's a few minutes behind, a few seconds behind. It's okay. It seems in India it's on Star Sports 2, which I don't know what that is.
Sorry, everyone. I was just messing. I should have done this before I was live. I really wanted to use the app. We'll try and use it for the FA Cup final. But if anybody is interested in the app that we use for the heat maps and everything, I have put the link in the video description. It is SofaScore, and that's what I've been using for probably the last... When did I start doing heat maps? Probably about 6-7 weeks ago. So that's the app I use. Really good stats on there. I like it. I have used a couple. We did use OneFootball before, nothing wrong with it, but I like what you get with SofaScore, which is the heat maps. It's one of the very few apps that you can do it. It's available on Apple and on Android. So the link in the video description for that, I will shout it out because it's certainly something we want to implement into the shows more because they've got something called attack momentum as well, which is like a graph while the game's going on, and it will show you who's having more attack and stuff like that. So it works well. I'm not a massive fan of stats, but I do like factual stats. Like I think the heat maps are really, really good because it will show you where a player is playing, and I think also in relation to tackles and stuff like that, it's quite good. Who's the new assistant? Mark, says Zedri. They think it's going to be Kieran McKenna, don't they? Paul McKenna would be quite good. We could do with a bit of mind bending or whatever it is he does, but there we go. United appear to be looking at the live comments. Well, I can ask you, Jared. United pretty much in control of it at the moment without.
Sure.
There've not been any good chances as far as I'm aware.
No. Rashford had a shot over the goal. I mean, nothing interesting, nothing worth discussing. It's funny. The most interesting thing I find is the this Swansea fight going on. Swansea are up 1-0. Swansea have a 9-goal differential to turn around today to stay up.
Well, Mark Hughes managed Man City, didn't he? So I don't think Man City are going to be of an attitude to relegate him. But it would be...
Well, it's not like he did that good of a job when he managed them, right?
No, but it would be funny. It would be funny.
So for anyone wondering, if Man City beat Southampton by 5 goals, Swansea win by 4, they'll stay up. 9 goals need to be the difference. I mean, we're definitely attacking the ball and pressing. It seems a lot of sideways passing, not really going towards the box. But now we're right outside the box. Mata with the pass to Sanchez, fluffed the shot. But it was a nice pass, beautiful pass by Mata. Sanchez on the right, or seems he may be playing a little centrally. Interesting. What channel in America? I told you, USA Network. I'll do you one better if you have FiOS. It's 550.
So you're getting all the games in America today?
Yeah, it's cool. So last day of the season every year, they put it on 13 different channels, and then they do a goal zone on another channel. So you can basically see every goal that's happening all at the same time. So it keeps you updated. But it's nice. First time I went to London, I never realized that you guys don't get all the games. I was bewildered.
It is a joke. But football's booming in America at the moment anyway, isn't it, apparently?
Yeah. I think it's funny. People always associated it with our national team, and our national team is a goddamn joke. So it's like I don't think many Americans really care about it. I think they pretend to care. I think they're all starting to find a team and grow into the sport. So,
good.
Sorry to everyone else. Sorry to the purists. We'll ruin it. We always ruin everything.
Well, I suppose in answer to that, though, it's a spectator sport, isn't it? At the moment, it's not like there's loads and loads of American players coming through that are going to take over the world of football. It's more the fan base that you bring in. It's not the world domination in relation to the sport.
No, and it's the other thing. By the way, a Watford player just ran into the wall, so that was funny. But I think with the sports in America, they go so long, it's very hard for people to actually enjoy it and be able to watch full games. Football actually opens it. It's a 90-minute game. That's what you're committing to. A Watford player's down, so nothing's happening. And I think Americans are starting to jump on board. And the fact that we have such easy access to watch it makes it easier. Because, we can literally watch any game. If it's like $9.99 for the season. And you can watch any game you want on NBC Sports. Which is cool.
Brandon Slaughter says, did Martial's girlfriend go into labour or is that bullshit? Honest answer is, mate, don't actually know. Don't actually know what the situation is with Martial at all. And if anybody does, we can certainly have a look around. I mean, as I said, let me have a look on Twitter whilst the injury's going on. Simon Stone had said it reminded him a little bit, but Anthony Martial was left out of Manchester United final
Here we
squad
go.
of the season, but where could he go if he leaves Old Trafford this summer?
Nope.
Maybe going to Spurs. Sorry, if something's happening, just let me know.
Nope. And there's no, I just cannot see that happening. I cannot see us selling him to Spurs unless you get Eriksson or someone, and it's not going to happen. So they will use Martial as a make weight in a very big deal, I think. They're not just going to sell him off for nothing. So the only team that really has a chance of getting him in the Premier League, I think, is Chelsea.
And Simon Stone has just come out and confirmed now that it's an injury as well.
Yeah, Leicester leading Spurs. Yeah, but the Spurs don't have to win. They're qualified already for the Champions League. So in the end, they could be on the beach and it doesn't matter.
Are Liverpool winning yet? Because I know if they lost, there was a slim chance.
No, they are 0-0. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea, what a bottle job that was. Oh, so Rashford is down. He got hit in the ankle. Hold on. Oh, you know what? This little prick, what's his name? LaSalle? He stepped on him. And now he's pretending to be injured. Watford always infuriate me. Durrani, obviously that is a possibility that Martial's just very pissed he wasn't picked for the World Cup because of Mourinho and doesn't want to play anymore. I do think he is gone, but again, there's a lot of stuff we see and then even more that we don't. So I think that's what everyone should remember. But something clearly happened in the dressing room that caused Mourinho and Martial to fall out. It's the only logical answer. I don't buy the injury news either.
Mindstorm says, I don't think I can handle another 12 months of this.
Nah, but I can't think it's going to be another 12 months of this. I really can't. I think if he gets the right players that he wants, maybe that makes him play more open football, but I feel like I'm just hoping that. I don't actually believe it.
Hamilton still leading the Grand Prix. Thanks for that, Ben Johnson. Tough one for me today. I wanted to watch the Grand Prix, but I have to watch United play. It's in me to do that. Indonesia, Manchester United, says Savrif. Shout out to the Indonesian massive. And Martial for Richarlison, I just saw there. God, no. It is, you know, Martial there, you'd wonder about his injury, Jared, because Mourinho said that he was definitely going to start this game, and then to not play because you've got an injury is
worrying.
Yeah, because you'd think, well, I'm going to play because World Cup's coming up, FA Cup's coming up, I'm going to play. I just can't. I don't buy it that he's injured, because it just doesn't make sense to be injured in a game that, you know, you're going to get the summer off because you're unlikely to go to the World Cup now. Play in this game and maybe just do something amazing that gets you in.
I mean, I don't. If I'm Deschamps, how do you not pick Martial? He's the future he's one of the futures of France in years away. Who knows where he can help out the team? I just wouldn't drop him. It just doesn't make sense. But the report that he drove away from the stadium is infuriating, because clearly if he left the stadium, he would have driven away. He's not going to walk away from the stadium. So it's like, I think that report is misleading. I think it's interesting to see why he drove away versus just the driving away.
Shubnan says Martial deal is done. Guess he's going to Juventus in a swap deal with Sandro.
Fine. I'm not happy about it, but if he stays out of the Premier League and goes to a team like Juventus, I just don't want him becoming unbelievable over the next few years at Chelsea. I don't want to trade him for Willian. So that's kind of where I've put my head at. Sandro will make us better in every single way.
I think it was Brandon Slaughter just saying there that Carrick looks very, very good. I mean, there's a rub to that, isn't there? I mean, there's just no future in it. This is his last game, so it's you know, but nice for him. Newcastle won versus Chelsea, so yeah, Liverpool are going to be pretty much safe anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this: if anyone ever wants to win money in games and you're over the age of 18 and can bet, just find out what I bet and bet the opposite, and you will always win.
I used to be like that. I used to always quite fancy a bet, and I'd get like accumulators of 6, and all the tough ones would come in, and then it'd be Bayern Munich at home to some crap, and they'd lose, and I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
The footballing gods must know. So it's one of the things that really started making me think before all this FIFA stuff came out of just how corrupt football actually might be, because the amount of bets that I would lose just because of, and it'd be a nailed on game as well. It's just shocking.
It's also infuriating. I heard some advice once, and I think it's pretty accurate. Someone said to me, they're like, never ever bet Arsenal or Tottenham in an accumulator because they'll always screw you. And consistently, that advice has been correct. I guess I add us into that too now. 6 tops. I thought Zaha was going to be the replacement. He's not coming back here. Although he is being looked at by, it seems, every single top 6 team except for us. But I think Zaha
Man
will
City
stay.
got linked to him today, actually, as well.
Yeah, I think Zaha's going to stay at Crystal Palace, honestly. He's gone to a big club. He's a hero over there. A hero. So I wouldn't leave if I was him. Watford making a nice little break. And Watford have a corner. Just score a goddamn where are you beasting? And we'll tell you what channel it's on. If you're in the UK, it's not on. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And it looks like Mark may have gotten the heat map working.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I was contemplating doing my Tesco shop online while this was on as well. You know, Jared's watching the game and I'm just sort of listening and like it's on the radio, which is great, and keeping my eye on the live comments. I could actually get some work done. You know, I've seen people in the live comments saying they've switched it off. I mean, this is part of the problem though, Jared, is that this is the problem with picking this sort of side, is that it's not going to entertain, is it? And what are we, 25 minutes in, and we've not really created anything 25. So far?
Mm-hmm. It's consistent. That's the problem. It's not a one-off. Every time we have trouble scoring, starting, and playing 90 minutes the right way. Salah
scored for Liverpool. Well, they were never going to bottle that anyway.
No, but it would be nice if we could get 2 more goals in the first half in that game. Darmian, the people like him with jerseys on, it infuriates me. I don't want him playing here. I don't know why he gets a chance over people in youth.
So what the formation today? What is it? We're actually, let's have a look on here and see if it will show. Newcastle winning, Swansea winning, Leicester beating Spurs, Man United, Watford.
Here we go, Watford. In our box, a nice pass. Uh-oh. They're going to make a cross into the middle. And no. Some great defense by Blind, actually. Name you don't hear very often.
So
probably won't hear.
I'm just having a look at the Sofa score. You can download it, link in the video description. I'm just looking at the average score ratings at the moment. Man of the match at the moment is Juan Mata.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the one who's creating the most.
Worst player on the pitch. Jared,
but there's nothing being created, to be fair. So
worst player for United, Rojo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyone's been horrible. Again, it's boring. Sanchez with a nice pass, missed Rashford by a little bit. And now Watford are going to be on the counter, it looks like.
So Daley Blind's playing in the midfield?
Who? Sorry again?
Is Ashley Young playing at left back then?
Yeah, it looks like he's at left back.
So it's a midfield 3 with Blind.
Tracking back a little bit more. Seems to be all over the place, actually. Blind is a decent squad player.
Oh, God, you can see what's coming. We won't sign anyone this summer. We're going to use Daley Blind as a midfielder. Matt has been rubbish, says Big Mossy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get 221,500 today. You're very welcome to the channel if you are new. Remember, every morning at 7 AM we've got our transfer daily. It's really heating up now. We're also live every night at 8 o'clock. So yeah, get involved. Do you think Mourinho's becoming a bit of a hate figure with the United fans now? I'm just reading. I mean, I never get this much chance to read the live comments. It's great having you watching it, but I just see so much negativity around him. I'm sure he doesn't care, but he's got to be a little bit careful about where this could go next season. I mean, this season's over, of course, and it'll be forgotten about. Everyone will be thinking about Woodward over the summer, but he does need to be a little bit careful.
Young corner. Ooh, nice save. Nice save by Gomez. I agree. I think that he's playing with fire. And someone made a comment, it's like Martial's girlfriend is more important to him than earning a starting position for Man United. What a prick. That is not really fair because it's not like it matters. So if your girlfriend was giving birth and it was the FA Cup and you were starting, I would understand playing and then going to the hospital. Who would stay for this? To be told you could play for 45 minutes and then get subbed off and slated by your coach again. It's tough. I see both sides of it. I think Martial's going to come good somewhere else. I'm happy for him. It's exactly what we said about Mkhitaryan. Just not the right fit for our system. Yeah, and Salah's brutal. Oh, it's so infuriating. They don't shut up about him.
Oh, I think I've got it working now. This would be good.
Here we go. Heat map time.
Never get too excited, everybody, because it can easily go wrong. Right, there it is. Sofa score. So I've got the Manchester United versus Watford thing at the moment, and it's got the average score ratings, as you can see there, and green Mata is getting a high score. But when you click on him, it brings up the heat map. So we can see that Mata is pretty much sticking to that left-hand side, which is what we would expect of him. See what Sanchez is doing? Drifting in a little bit, as you can see with that yellow area. Nobody's really red yet because it's too early on in the game. And let's take a look at Carrick. Yeah, pretty much holding that defensive midfield role, which you would expect. Ashley Young, is he playing left back? Well, he's bombing forward a lot, so yeah, looks like he is. And Daley Blind, is he playing midfield? Yeah, left-sided midfield. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it's looking at the moment. So, link in the video description for the SofaScore app. I've got it up and well. It was working fine. It was my phone that was just ridiculously slow, but I've closed a few things down, and it seems to be working quite well now. Let's go back to England. The scores there. 1-1, Swansea and Stoke. So, Swansea look like they're going down there, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, they're not getting 9 goals, so that's fine. Unfortunate for them, it seems, as I said last time, I think Jose cursed them. He used the statement, "You're definitely staying up, Carlos," and then that was that. 8 losses later.
So there's the attack momentum graph. The graph gives you insight into the course of the game. Peaks of the graph are showing the pressure of a team throughout the match. Home team, so there you go. Home team period of high pressure would be really high green. Away team, short period of low pressure. Let's have a look. So far, United are in a period of mediocre pressure, I would say. Nobody's hitting high pressure, which would be high in that graph there. But mediocre pressure, is that about right, Jared?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see us attacking much. I actually see Watford making a little bit more of it. But here we go. Actually, funny you bring that up. We got a counter. Rashford. No. Terrible first touch. Corner in their area. But yeah, I mean, we have not been we have been playing attacking. I just don't think we've been getting results out of it.
Ryan C says, "What's the app?" This is the SofaScore app. So this is the app I use for like your heat maps and everything like that. But I also use it for like stats and everything that's going on, and it works well in relation to what's going on. I think Carrick's man of the match at the moment now. Yep, Carrick's taken over from, well, he's joint with Mata on a 7 out of 10 at the moment, and Ashley Young's become the worst player on the pitch with a 6.4.
Rashford.
But then if you click the players, it will give you the heat maps as well. So it's good. It's what I normally have up and running on my phone, which I'm now showing to you lot as well. So let's go back. Statistics. United have had a 56% possession, 3 shots to 1. At least we've had some shots in the first half.
Here we go. Rashford. Go. Beautiful pass to Mata, who sets up Rashford, slots it in. Nice goal. Very composed.
1-0 to Manchester United then. That's good.
Yes.
He can only do what he can do.
I mean, he couldn't physically miss that shot. Very quick play, though. Very quick play. Beautiful pass. Mata made a run. They thought they were offside. Rashford stayed back. Beautiful shot. Slots it in.
Who is it who... I'd be interested to see who it was who put the pass into Mata.
Carrick.
Yeah.
Funny enough. Beautiful pass by Carrick.
It's that pass from the midfield, isn't it?
Yep. That was a beautiful ball. You know, it's funny you bring it up earlier, and it's that transition play that we normally falter at that Carrick seems to have composed it a little bit. It's a nice pass.
We don't do that. That's the thing, isn't it? That goal is not Manchester United, and it's not going to be Manchester United because we haven't got Michael Carrick. We don't play passes over the top like that. I mean, it's very reminiscent of a sort of what a Liverpool would do or a Manchester City would do. Yeah. And there we go with the graph. Look, we've got high pressure. We've got high pressure.
Another pass. Another pass by
MUF Fanatic 99 says it spot on. What we are missing in the midfield, absolute class, yeah. And we haven't got that. It's a shame, isn't it? Because Carrick's not playing again after today. This is his last game, and we haven't got a player from the midfield who can play that sort of a pass.
Pjanic, yeah. Well, Watford does not. They didn't seem to drop their heads, making a nice little run here, past the side, and Ashley Young with one of the worst tackles ever, but no penalty. So, I'll tell you, the tackles this guy makes and gets away with are pretty shocking. Yeah, they're kicking it out. I thought he went studs up, to be honest. So, we're going to see a replay. Young goes in. I mean, that's for anyone who...
He got away with a couple in the derby as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Am I crazy? That looks like not a yellow card. That would look like a red card. He didn't even touch the ball. But
someone in the comments says he does get the ball. But, but it's the studs up again.
You can't do a 2-footed tackle ever, right? I mean, at that point nowadays, that's a red card. But you think it was... I don't know if it was a good tackle. I don't think Young has good defensive abilities at all. I do think he can... I just think Mourinho trusts him.
Gary Hanna says what a great tackle it was.
Ugh. Again, I don't agree. I think that these tackles eventually will curse you. You can't do 2-footed tackles like that. Can't, especially in a meaningless game. It's annoying.
Yeah, remember Jay Cockrell makes a good point about Michael Carrick. Remember, he did have the heart issue, which he did.
It's not a penalty. No, it was not inside the box, but yeah, I agree. Young is lucky, and that's why they're now the camera's just focusing on the assistant ref, who, by the way, was right next to it.
You just get away with him.
Well, I think the assistant ref looks like Duncan Castle, so maybe it's Duncan Castles. Young is chosen, yeah. Look, it's opinion. It wasn't there was no card called, so it is a brilliant tackle. Sure. I just think he opens himself up to liability there. Thank God Jared doesn't have a career in refereeing. It changed the score. United making a run. Sanchez.
Yeah, I do need to change the score. Thanks for that.
Luna, I never. How is he lucky? He got the ball cleanly, and it was outside the box. What do you want? I simply told you that it looked like a red card because he had two studs up, and that if you touch someone with two studs up, it's a red card by the definition of the rule.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. He's right, because regardless of whether you get the ball or not, if the tackle's reckless, it doesn't matter. If you get the ball, it doesn't matter. It's still it can still be deemed a red card. But
it's fine. Look, in the end, I'd rather him not get it called than get it called. I don't, it's fine. But these tackles, we've gotten away with some this season. And if on the last
scored for Arsenal 1-0. This is the SofaScore app. Link in the video description for anybody who wants to download it. This is what we use for the app, for the heat maps. Jacob Hexamer, I think Carrick could play for United for 2 or 3 years more if only he played against small teams at home where he could just dictate the play, which he's fantastic at doing. I do agree. But maybe it is to do with the heart issue. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems his time's up, but his play is unbelievable still. There we go. Quick transition by Carrick again. He's very fast. He just knows exactly where the ball should be and puts it there. He doesn't think.
Okay, let's move on from the tackle chat. It's getting a little bit boring now. As Jared said, it's all about opinion. That's what the United Stand's all about. Remember to keep subscribing, getting involved, and you can use the SofaScore app yourself if you want. Let's have a quick look at who's doing well. I think Rashford's man of the match at the moment because of his goal, but Mata's pushing in with 7.4. 7.4 for him. Let's have a look at his heat map. Yeah, pretty central. Sanchez has been a bit quiet.
Yeah, I mean, he's been involved in the play, but he hasn't been the creator of it, if that makes any sense.
I think that Daley Blind selection is quite interesting as well. When you look at that heat map there, he's sort of playing that left midfield role. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Scott McTominay mirroring him on the right-hand side, and then obviously Carrick sitting very, very in the central areas. Let's go back to statistics. I mean, United have pretty much been the team on top and deserve to be in charge at the moment. Not much pressure in the momentum there. The blue bits, that's Watford, but they're not hitting the heights. When the green bits go high, that means it's high pressure. So United deservedly in front at the moment, thanks to that goal on 34 minutes for Marcus Rashford as we approach half-time.
Eric Bailly, man of the match. Yeah, I mean, he's always exciting when he plays. Very composed at the back.
We're back in a minute, Jared.
Easy. Yeah, I do think, Stoke scored. I think Blind playing is interesting just to window shop him. Nick Kidd. Yes, Carrick needs another chance. He's still unbelievable. He knows when to control the ball and when to pass it. He can play in home matches. He's a legend of the team, Carrick. But my question is, if you had Carrick to teach players like this rather than play, isn't that valuable as well? Watford making a little run here on the side. Cross in the middle. No. Gave it right back to him. And seem their Watford's play in the final third is terrible. Thank you, Josh. You're so biased towards players. If it was by you, it's not. I like Young. I don't think he's bad. I think he serves a purpose. I just think he has reckless tackles. Irrelevant if that was or wasn't. It's the City game. Many people would say that was a reckless tackle. That's all. You don't have to agree with it. And I don't mind. But at least, instead of saying shut up, at least put a reason why. I always appreciate it. Us Americans are normally told to shut up many times. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm putting you to sleep. It's the game putting me to sleep.
Says like one of them is the school.
USA guy, you ever played the game? Yes. Titty's 24. How is he too old? Yes, I'm in New York. Young is rubbish. I think Young serves a purpose. I just don't know that he's great for defense. I think that if we brought in Sandro, it would free up Young for some other options. There's very, very, very good comment, Jeff Stefano. I don't know if you can teach what Carrick has. It's imagination and vision. Either you have it or you don't. A beautiful, beautiful save by Romero. Unbelievable cross by Watford. Richarlison throws it in, heads it. Romero with a beautiful save. Beautiful. Bailly didn't mark his man at all. Got away from him. Not a great defensive play, but still unbelievable save by Romero.
Should have scored, shouldn't they?
Yes. Young is a journeyman at best. Yeah, I mean, there are certain people we don't know what value they have in the locker room. Here we go. Watford. Oh, what a save by Romero again. Deulofeu with a beautiful shot. Or someone who looks like Deulofeu.
It doesn't matter. The thing is, I said this in the week, it doesn't really matter that who we pick, does it? Because the players can be the same or not the same, but we play the same, don't we? You know, reliant on a couple of good saves from the keeper again.
I mean, our keepers keep us in most games. What a save by Romero again. He's playing well. That's window shopping, definitely.
And as you can see with the attack momentum graph here on the Sofa Score, you can see with that blue bit down there, that means Watford having a good bit of a attack for the first time in the game, just as we approach half-time.
Kaito Ellis, that's an interesting comment, but I think that is not true. De Gea leaves, Romero can be our number one. He can't be, and De Gea's not going anywhere. So don't worry about it.
No, I think over the course of a season that it'd be a bad selection for a goalkeeper in the Premier League. Romero, I think he's good, and Gary Hanna's right. He's better than some first team keepers, but over a season, he's not very good in the air for a start, and I think he would cost it. Look, De Gea, it's like, you know, it doesn't matter how good Romero is. De Gea's 10 times better. I mean, De Gea's 10 times better than Lloris. He's just an absolutely amazing goalkeeper. Is it half time yet, Jared?
No, 2 minutes. Got about another minute and 20 seconds. What did you guys think of the first half for those who watched? Bailly or rock in defense. Yeah, I mean, I don't fault Bailly as much simply because he hasn't had a partnership to rely on. You know, Vidic and Ferdinand were great together. These people were great together. You trust the person next to you to be able to play. Who can he trust? Can't play with anyone consistently. That will be addressed in the transfer window, though.
Funnily enough, Romero's heat map is around the goal, but he has made 2 saves. Must have been them two saves that we were on about there. 31. Player value 5.9 million. Contracted until 2021, so, you know, there's no reason to think he'll go.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was Romero, I'd want to try first team football, and you're not getting it here.
Lucas says it's really a nothing game. Darmian should be sold, says Sai Shifa. Look, we're going to go back to what we were talking about in the first few minutes of the game, aren't we? Whereby the reality is this team is very, very uninspiring, and it's not the right team to have picked in a game like this. Half time, anyway. Let me turn off the timer. Give us your thoughts on that, Jared.
Boring. Nice. One very, very beautiful pass by Carrick. Nice shot by Rashford to score it. Not impressed, though, with the way we played it all. I think it was fine. For the last game of the season, it should be more exciting.
You're not going to get a lot of excitement when he selects the teams that he's selected there, though, are you? I mean, he's basically put out a lot of players that we wouldn't necessarily expect to be at the club next season. I mean, Daley Blind in midfield. We've not done that all year. Darmian at right back. We can't do that. Mata, Sanchez and Rashford as a front three. We're not going to see that next year. But the one not surprise, and it's nice that we've seen it in that game, is something that we won't have next season. We've not had this season. Michael Carrick, that quick pass over the top that you know, teams like Liverpool, Man City will do. They'll move the ball very, very quickly. And I think it caught Watford out. They would not expect United to move the ball quickly like that, which is a gangster's paradise for Michael Carrick, because he will have seen that movement from Mata and Rashford, hit a quick ball over the top. Watford wouldn't expect it. Little simple square for Rashford to tap it home from Mata. But it all comes back from Carrick. And we don't have midfielders who can do that.
No, and they're going to have to find them. I mean, like you said, Fred Milinkovic-Savic, who, by the way, scored for Lazio today.
Nightmare TV says Carrick showing Pogba what he should do. I mean, the problem with Pogba is he doesn't play that deep to be able to play that ball. By the time Pogba gets it, the momentum of the attack is normally dead. Matic is the player who's got to play that ball, and he can't do it. The brilliance of Carrick was always that if we've not seen it for a long time. Jose Mourinho says people don't understand my genius. Well, he's got time to send us super chats at half time. But no, the thing about Carrick is that when United and Carrick were in their prime, the defence of the opposition would drop as soon as Carrick got the ball, because they were aware that he can play those sort of passes. Watford were caught short there because they probably forgot that Carrick can play those sort of passes. But United would create a lot of space with Carrick in the team because they'd be scared of that ball. Teams aren't scared of us because we haven't got anybody who can do that. Matic has had a good season, but in contrast to what Carrick does, Matic will play a sideways pass. Carrick will look to play a forward pass over distance. Hamilton won the World Cup. He won the race, which is good, says Camilio. And Jorginho is the only player who is like Carrick, says Martin. I don't think he's got the passing range of Carrick in relation to that sort of distance as well. It's people call it long ball. It's a long pass when Carrick does it. Long ball is speculative. Carrick is absolutely accurate. We're moving the ball quicker, says Vongola. Again, that'll be something that's coming from Carrick. Matic slows the team down. He does slow the team down, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I mean, I didn't want Matic, but he's had a very good season, I have to admit that. But he does slow the team down. If you watch United with Matic in it, slowly takes the ball off the back four and slowly moves it on. Someone like Carrick, quick. So we'll see what happens next season. It's going to be a very, very interesting summer, Jared, because there's not much you're going to learn from that first half with those set of players.
Oh. No, I agree. I think the summer is going to be really important. I think they're going to have to find a transitional midfielder who can bring the ball up like Carrick does. And that, again, you made a point. Long ball play is passing the ball to Fellaini and hoping he can head it in. Composed passing, deep passing is what Carrick does.
Biggie Thirds made a contribution, thank you. He says, this is a meaningless game against a poor team, but Carrick and Blind have been very good. Both moving the ball forward quickly, far better than what we've gotten from Pogba and Matic all season. And I do agree with that, but I will just put up the big red flag and say, look, Carrick and Blind in a midfield together over 38 games will finish mid-table. I mean, Carrick is retiring for a reason, and Blind is painfully left-footed and slow to play centrally. So they're not the solutions. They can work against the bad Watford team, and they can give us a glimpse of how we should play, i.e. quicker playing, but they're not the answer. They're not better than Matic and Pogba, but their mentality and vision is better as to how they approach the game. Pogba and Matic get stuck in this too many touches, sideways passes nonsense, and that's what causes. Savic has scored for Lazio, apparently, says Hursty. I'm not sure if it's the last week in Italy. I know it's not the last week in Spain. Lynn Hall says, can't Carrick play another year? He should have played more than this year. Let's just have a quick look, Jared. I've got my mirror screen working. Half-time scores at the moment. Liverpool obviously are going to finish in the top four. They're beating Brighton 2-0. So it's academic, and I think it always was going to be. Swansea are losing, so they're going down. But in relation to Manchester United, 1-0 up at the moment. Watford there with the momentum at the end of the half. Be interesting to see if they can come out in the second half and do anything. Marcus Rashford currently man of the match, but probably because of his goal, because Matt has done quite well as well. Quite a low score for Rojo. But yeah, I mean, look at Michael Carrick. Let's have a look at his heat map, just running that midfield like he does, not really venturing far too much. McTominay on the other side, and then mirroring him is Daley Blind on that side, quite hot in that sort of anchor left-hand side midfield position. Sanchez has been very, very quiet. I mean, to be honest, he's been down at left-back quite as much as he has been on that left-hand side. Mata more hogging that right-hand side, a lot warmer there. But that's your heat map. Link in the video description for SofaScore. This is what we use for our heat map and stats. So if you are interested in that, link in the video description. It's available on Apple and on Android. and we'll keep you up to date with that. But I just wanted to just have a quick check as well, because Watford did have some chances at the end of that half. So statistics, we've had 4 shots to their 3. They've had more on target, 2 to our 1. Shots off target, 3 to 1 there. So yeah, I mean, nothing really to write home about Jared, but all the same, it's SofaScore Abdi, link in the video description.
Cool app.
It's, you know, we're all focusing on Chelsea next week. I mean, we're not going to be all sat next week with relax like this, are we? Our mood will change. So
yeah. Oh, and then the other thing is, talking about Matic, he's very slow, but look at what he's done being removed from Chelsea. The amount of points they've lost because of Bakayoko taking Matic's spot is pretty pretty incredible when you think about it. Like, their fans point to that being the biggest problem they've had this season. That and Morata.
I just think I said it last night. In a year's time, we are either Premier League champions or Jose Mourinho's gone. And it's quite interesting if people probably haven't seen this. And we'll pick up the Martial thing tonight on the 8 o'clock show. Any chance for Martial for the FA Cup final, says Carlos Solis? I don't think so. Jared, do you think? I don't think we'll see Martial in a United shirt again, to be honest.
No. I think he'll be on the bench for the FA Cup final. But he's not coming on. I mean, unless we're up. Like, if we're up 2-0 or we need a goal. I mean, maybe like at 75 minutes, but I can't see him starting or anything like that.
We were talking about it in the first half for those who weren't with us. I mean, the situation with Martial is that obviously just before we went live, it was announced by Rob Dawson that Martial had been there at midday but left, which obviously sent people into a bit of a meltdown. Simon Stone, the BBC journalist close to United, said it's very reminiscent of what happened with Van Nistelrooy and he never played again. Then it came out that he was injured after being rumours that maybe his girlfriend had gone into labour. But as we were talking about in the first half there, if Martial's got an injury, it's got to be a bad injury because he has got a slim chance of going to the World Cup, a slim chance of playing in the FA Cup final, and the only way he was going to turn those into big chances was by playing today and playing well. So it's got to be an injury that's bad, because even if it wasn't bad, you would say I'm going to play. Or is it all a big smokescreen? Like, you know, he's not in the right mindset to play for United anymore. Mourinho's told him he's going, and it's just let's hide it behind an injury. That's what I think, and I've got no reason to think that, but I just think I'm not buying the injury because this was his last chance to get in the FA Cup final, the last chance to get in the French squad. By not playing today, he's basically killed those chances. So the app is SofaScore, link in the video description, G-Sun, free to download on Apple and Android, so give it a download. So yeah, I do think he's going to go. But the other thing I want to talk about, Jared and everybody at home, is that Mourinho was on the Manchester United website, and he said that the points gap between second and fourth isn't very much, but the points gap between second and first is 19 points. It's huge. He said that with that gap and how challenging the transfer market's going to be this summer, they're going to try and close the gap, but it'll be very, very hard. Sort of getting his excuses in early. Now, I said... I mean, I'm Burb says the Alexandro news is a big positive. I did a video on that on That's Football at lunchtime, and Duncan Castles, who's the journalist close to Mourinho, is saying that deal should be done in the next couple of weeks, which would be a real big positive. Of course it would. But what I was saying is that it's almost as if Mourinho is coming in as the new manager, because that sort of... it's going to be difficult to close the gap, and it's going to be a difficult transfer market. It's the sort of thing you'd expect from a new manager. I'm more interested in why he's saying that after 2 years. It's like, but you've been here for 2 years. Why is it difficult to close that gap? Is it because Pep's doing a far better job than you? He started at the same time. But we seem to all becoming apathetic to it. We're all becoming like, oh yeah, he's right. It's going to be really hard to close the gap. But he's not a new manager. He's been here 2 years.
Yeah, I really don't understand how we're still in this position. I didn't mind the way Mourinho plays. I just mind that we haven't gotten the results we've wanted yet. Pep's played unbelievable football, but the fact we haven't advanced in the Champions League, we allow it to happen to Sevilla. There's been moments where Mourinho just should have been better, and he's not. But next year we'll decide his future.
I'm massively excited about it, and obviously, if you are new to the United Stand, do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner Get your notifications on is the most important thing. How do you get your notifications on? There'll be a bell underneath it. Click the bell, and then when it takes you through to tick all notifications for this channel, because we're a live content channel. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got our show at 7 o'clock Monday to Friday, which is our Transfer Daily show. But we're going into that area now. We're going into that area. I very nearly went live at midday today, but I thought we've got the watch-along. I'll speak then. So I did it on That's Football about the Alexandro thing. It could be 11 o'clock at night. It could be 11 o'clock in the morning. We will go live when there is big news stories to report. And I think this summer, more than any other summer, is going to be massive, because it's not just going to be signings. It's going to be big players going out the door. So get subscribed to the channel, get your notifications on in the bottom right with the bell, and make sure you don't miss any shows, because we've always got the live comments. You're a massive part of what this channel's all about, and we're going to have some big stories to react to this summer. Massive. I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, Mark doesn't sleep, so that's positive. So it could be 3 a.m. in the UK, and he can go live.
Yeah, there might. Yeah, we'll definitely be live at 3 a.m. for the US tour, because that's what time the games go, and looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the US tour. We were doing watch-alongs at 3 a.m. I really like it. It's something weird about doing it at those times. But there'll be a lot of you who are doing it now and going, what's weird about it, Mark? We do it every bloody game, because we're a worldwide fan base. Stephen Willock says Sandro's only a positive if he stops playing Young every game. If he continues to play Young as number 1 left-back, it's just a waste of Shaw and Sandro. Good point. I would expect if you're spending £50 million on a player, that means he's going to stay. But yeah, Jared, I'm nervous about this summer, but I'm very excited about it, because one thing I'm absolutely certain about is this is Mourinho's last summer if he doesn't win the Premier League. And if he's going to win the Premier League, this summer's going to have to be epic.
100%. I mean, I think it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So I think Milinkovic-Savic, I think another midfielder. We're all hoping he doesn't sign Fellaini, but again, I've now changed the way I'm looking at Fellaini. 1 year. If we sign him for 1 year, that's okay, because we give Jose what he wants. And I want Jose to have all the tools needed to win the title. And if that's the person he wants, we don't want another Perisic situation where he's sitting there like we needed this person, and the whole time he holds grudges. So I think that's important. I think Sandro would be great, and I think Umtiti. If you got those 3 people, is it a successful summer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so. It's going to be very, very interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting indeed. Dale Jones says, show the game for the millionth time. The watch-along on the United stand was created by you lot. We never used to be live when there was a game on. We do the match reaction, and I do a match reaction, but people were like, can you just be live when there's a game ongoing so that we can all watch it together? So have you kicked off yet, Jared, in where you are?
No, currently they're starting they're showing Man City, so I'm assuming United has not kicked off yet.
You don't want to watch Man City.
Ever.
Yeah, so we can't show you the game. We'd love to be able to show you the game, but we can't show you the game because it's illegal. But we are obviously live with you when that's going on. And as you can see on my screen there, I'm just waiting to start the game when it starts. So let's... I don't know why Manchester United versus Watford hasn't kicked off yet, but...
No, and I don't know why it's not being... It's not on the network yet, so I assume it hasn't. They can't just switch games on me.
St. Columbus says Mourinho isn't going to win in any league. Come and get real honesty. He's finished. Klopp and Pep are making him look silly.
Here we go.
If that's the case, then, and you might be right with that. Has it kicked off, Jared?
It's kicking off right now. And we're off. Nope.
I'm trying to reset the timer. Just let me know when they go.
Hold on, he's just standing there. Wait up. They're holding it up for some reason. I don't know why.
TV cameras, probably.
Mm-hmm. Good to go. Kicked off.
Okay.
Hi, Wakas.
So yeah, the app is SofaScore. This is what we use for all our heat maps and everything like that. So the link's in the video description. It's on Apple and Android, and especially with the transfer window coming up and the World Cup and everything. If you're looking at players and stuff, it's a really good idea. In fact, just while we're waiting around, because people did mention that
he did it again. All right, Sanchez got the ball, taking it up. Oh, crossed by Young. Oh, I'd love to see Carrick score. Watford making a nice little counter run. Oh.
So Lazio game finished 2-2.
There's one more week in Serie A.
Milinkovic-Savic scored, and Felipe Anderson played very well. But
hold on, in the box, Watford fluffed it up again.
Let's have a look. Just have a quick look at Milinkovic-Savic's heat map, and that's what you get with Milinkovic-Savic. Very left-sided was what I expected to see. Very much what Pogba should do, although he can wander into that right area as well. No assists, but he did get a goal. Accurate passes, 80.7. A few long balls, but he likes to put his he likes to get his tackles in as well. 14 duels won, which is very, very good in a single game. But yeah, you can get all that on here as well. And I did just spot something. SofaScore.
It's a very cool app. Watford.
Transfers.
Cross in the middle. Oh. Nice clearance.
Yeah, Watford on the attack in the second half at the moment. There, you can see it on the map.
They look up for it.
George Kyle says the pass by Carrick was immense for our goal. What an outstanding way to mark his final match. And it could be that this game ends up being 1-0, George, and that would be the fitting part, wouldn't it?
We're on a run. Oh man!
I mean, this is
corner kick.
This is a lethargic team and a lethargic Manchester United message from Jose. Let's be honest, it's totally uninspiring, and we're not going to learn anything from it, are we?
Yep. It's I don't think it's what fans wanted to see, but Mourinho ball. Watford didn't score. They couldn't have scored a run. We have a corner kick. Blind with the corner kick. Couldn't get past the first man. Young with a nice pass. Rashford's back. Oh, see, that's very infuriating. So the guy was down in the box, and Rashford, they were making a nice little run, and they cleared it out. Spurs losing, but it doesn't matter, does it? No, they're still qualified. Yeah, I agree with George what he said. I think it's going to be really difficult to replace that quick transition play. I think we need to find it too. Oh, MVET, the name of the app is in the bottom, in the description. SofaScore.
Yeah, it's in the link in the video description. SofaScore is what we use. I'll get it back up again in a minute. I was just putting a tweet out.
I mean, again, so Leicester scored again, right? Yes. Who cares, though? I mean, when you really think about it, Tottenham, they did the job. They go to their new stadium next year. They get Champions League football next year. Good for them. Poch did his job. And Chelsea didn't. This game is dull. And Nicholas, I don't think we've been negative. But what can I say?
Adam Places were really bad. Fans want youth and excitement. Jose will never give that. I've accepted it at this point, says Andrew Southwick. Thanks for that, Andrew.
Yep,
I think there is an apathy. We've said that a few times. Carrick's been the best player on the pitch.
17 attempts on. I mean, I think that's pretty interesting. So Liverpool have had 17 attempts on goal. We've had 5. And that's the standard. I think that's what people want to see. More attacks, more shots, more excitement. Sanchez getting bossed by 3 people. No help. Does look a little disjointed. I've never seen a consistent, perfect 90-minute performance, which I'm sure we will see in the FA Cup because, again, there's one skill set Mourinho has. He's incredible as a one-game tactician. Incredible. He's shown it over and over and over again. But him and Conte will be a fun one in the FA Cup final. So do we get Yes, Ibrahim, we have Champions League football. Tex, well, if you're doing that, you ain't doing it legally. Am I pitch? Watford. Very composed. You can tell they're looking to break us down. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people behind the ball. These games do split the fan base. I think people get so frustrated with them. Watford, nice pass out. Couldn't make it. I agree. The hardest game for the FA Cup was the Spurs. I think that was good.
Well, we will be talking tonight about the season and how it's gone because I think that's really, really important. And I think it's really important to pick up on the message that Jose has sent out today is not one that I'm, over the moon with, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Andres Pereira back, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Rashford's making a run at this ball. But it's interesting. 52 minutes in, we look like we're content with a 1-0 win. Watford. I mean, Watford are definitely playing better in the second half. They look up for it. Here we go. Watford in our zone. Oh. No. Nice play by Rojo.
There's just something about United that I just find, and I think a lot of fans feel this. It's just a lot of these players, even when they put in decent performances now, it's like their time has come. Whether it's Rojo, Jones, Young, Blind, Darmian. It's like people have they are the Deadwood FC. We all know they're the Deadwood FC. They're the sort of players that no top 6 side would go near. They're the sort of players that they can give you a good game, but over the course of a season, they'll give you too many bad games. They're the sort of players that just aren't quite good enough. And then that's where Jose's gone wrong today, because it's like you cannot get excited by those players performing, even if they perform really well against Watford. You can't get excited about them. And that's the problem with us. I mean, Daley Blind could put in a 9 out of 10 performance today. Are we then meant to think that he's the answer to the midfield when it's clearly not? It's clearly not.
Just slow. It's always slow and steady.
Lots of sideways passing. I mean, if everyone's been watching my FIFA career mode, which is Goldbridge versus Mourinho, and I get a lot of stick if I play a sideways pass. I mean, that's all United do.
Nothing. I think I don't know. It gets you at around the 70th minute. You sit there, you're like, oh, I have another 20 minutes to watch of this. It's just you want more excitement. Not everything has to be so pragmatic.
Shaka, I agree. This Deadwood problem actually was a problem even before Mourinho came to the club. Jose should have dealt with it, but there are players that have been there for quite a while.
I mean, I guess we do forget we have a lot of people coming back from loan. You know, you have Fosu Mensah, you have Pereira. I'm curious to see where they fit into his team, or if they fit into his team.
I'm curious, is Alexis Sanchez actually playing today?
Yeah, he's trying. It's like he's around everywhere but hasn't done anything.
I think the final is going to be very interesting as well, very exciting as well. Because I don't think it'll. I think if we lose, I don't think it's. Well, it is the end of the world, but I don't think it's really going to impact on Jose too much, because there's no opportunity to react to it. If we lose, off he goes on holiday. There'll be a lot of unhappy fans, but off he goes on holiday. Whereas, but I think if we don't win the FA Cup, it becomes, well, what do you think in the live comments? I think if we don't win the FA Cup, it becomes a failure of a season. I know second place, but second place 19 points behind, you may as well be bottom. It's that is embarrassing. So we've got to win the cup to make it an acceptable season. I've got a bit of a big announcement actually, because I've just saw somebody mentioning the Real Madrid Liverpool final. Now, I wasn't going to be doing a watch along on That's Football for Real Madrid versus Liverpool, because I just felt, obviously, That's Football's quite a neutral channel. It's meant to be. But Xander is away, so he can't do it. So someone's got to do it. So I'm doing Real Madrid versus Liverpool watch along on That's Football, which I can't stand Liverpool. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. If they win it, which I've got a horrible feeling that they have, it's not even in me to be gracious. So that's going to be a very, very funny watch along to do. But yes, I will be doing it 2 weeks tonight. I'll have to get pissed before I start, I think.
Oh, yeah. That'll be one to drink some beers before. And a yellow card on Young.
Well, whatever happens, look, what I can say, and if you are new to the United Stand, get yourself subscribed, get your notifications on in the bottom right-hand corner. But this will be our third summer of the United Stand. And when we first started it, we were like, oh, the summer's going to be dead. It isn't. The summer's, in its own way, the summer is actually more exciting, some would say, than the actual season, especially that season we've just had. Apparently Luke Shaw's coming on, Jared.
Yep, and we got a free kick here for Watford.
Loveridge, thanks for that. Just saw your comment. Thanks for that. He says Luke Shaw is coming on.
Oh, what a terrible... Again, lucky. Buff the header, but they could not... They didn't seem to be able to capitalize on it. That's terribly accurate, Marcus Kivy. Real Madrid will define our season. It's terrible, and it's true.
It is terrible, but true, you're right. Canned Clock Gaming says Luke overrated. Shaw's coming on. Better than Ashley. I'm always out of position. Young. Yeah.
Well, when 10 people are going to be behind the ball, who really cares who's playing, right?
Well, no, we're not quite there yet. Half an hour still to go. Give it 10 minutes and he'll park the bus.
He's got Sanchez and Rashford up in a 2-up, and then everyone else seems to be staying back. But Watford making runs. They cannot control the ball. It's like every one of them has the first touch of Lukaku.
Stretford Ender says, I'd rather have Crapshaw than Young any day.
Yeah. But back to Sanchez.
I don't know whether you can see, Jared, but I'm surprised that I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of empty seats there for the game today. In fact, I think actually maybe not because of Carrick, but... Yeah, I think when he comes off, people will leave. So Young's coming off, is that right? Yeah, Young's coming off for Shaw. Which, by the way, just want to state for all the Shaw lovers, this is 2 games in a row that he's played. So, that's something. That is something. I don't think Ashley Young's going anywhere. I think he's just took him off because he's on a yellow card and he'd missed the FA Cup final, wouldn't he? But we all thought he was going to sell Shaw before. Who knows? Maybe there's been a change. Yes, Star Wars geek, Wakanda forever. Also, on a separate note, I took Mark's advice and watched Karate Kid and then watched Cobra Kai, and every single person should watch that. It's substantially more interesting than the United games currently, but also incredible. Incredible.
It was so good.
Have you watched them all now?
Yeah. It took me like a half a day. It was unbelievable.
I feel just very. Somebody said it to me about Breaking Bad that I'd never watched it, so I started watching it, and somebody said, "Oh, I wish I was you because watching it fresh is just is brilliant." And that's what I felt about when you said about the Karate Kid. That I knew you were going to watch the film and then watch Cobra Kai. It's like the perfect thing because not many people won't have seen the Karate Kid, but to watch the Karate Kid then be able to go straight into Cobra Kai would be amazing. And it is. Yeah. It is. I've no, you know. Star Wars, Force Awakens was okay. Last Jedi is shit, and I love Star Wars, but they've destroyed it with Last Jedi. To go back to something and do it justice is very difficult. But with Cobra Kai, they've more than done that. It's brilliant. Available on YouTube. First 2 episodes are free, so you don't even have to pay for it. And then if you like it,
you could get the whole thing for free.
Can you?
If you're in the US, you can do YouTube Red, and then just do a free trial.
All right.
And then you can watch them all for free. Cancel it.
There you go.
Or maybe you keep it.
And we're not pushing it to get a second season. It's already been announced. I think it was getting like 100% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. It is bloody brilliant. I always liked. Yeah. I watched something a few years ago. Button if United are going to score. But I watched something a few years ago which was on YouTube, which was Daniel LaRusso is the real baddie, because obviously in Karate Kid he's obviously the very good. But they showed it. They told the story from a different angle as to why Daniel LaRusso is the baddie, and that's sort of. He's not bad, Daniel LaRusso, but it shows you that there's a good and bad is not always crystal clear, and it shows you 2 sides, which I think is very, very clever. Yeah, very, very good. And I enjoyed it.
It's funny. To your point, you want to watch the original movie and then go right into the first 2 episodes, and you won't stop. Incredible. It's. I watch a lot of TV, and that show was one of the better things I've seen in a long time. For 30-minute shows, it was maybe one of the best. So highly recommend, and everyone should watch it. Everyone.
A few people asking about I have been doing my Goldbridge versus Mourinho FIFA stream every lunchtime. Couldn't do it today because it was too much of a quicker turnaround. I don't know whether I'll be able to do it tonight. Probably not because of fan cams. And tomorrow I'm at a funeral, so I won't be able to do it tomorrow lunchtime either. So it's probably going to be back Tuesday lunchtime now. Unfortunately, life events taking over. But we are live tonight at 8 o'clock on the United Stand as usual. And I've got my match reaction straight after this. And we have got fan cams. So I think, yet again, those fan cams could be quite interesting. I mean, your thoughts, Jared? I mean, I don't think fans will be... Well, they might be. I think it's an accumulation of things, isn't it? Yet again, I mean, how many? Let's just have a look at the app while you give us some thoughts on United so far.
I don't think this style of play suits United. I think fans are starting to get apathetic to it. So I think you're going to have people who come to the fan cams and are furious, and then I think you're going to have people who just say Jose out, and then you're going to have the others who are like, it is what it is.
But it's still 1 shot on target. There you can see, crystal clear. 1 shot on target after 64 minutes. So it's just not. It's just the thing is, the big problem is, like somebody said, Real Madrid are going to define our season. But in many ways, Spurs, Manchester City, and Liverpool have defined our season as well, because we know. I mean, this is the great thing about this app. Let's just go and do it. Premier League. Matches. Well, let's go Tottenham first. They're 4-3 up against Leicester. Statistics: 10 shots, 5 on goal. So we've had 1 at home. You've got Liverpool at home to Brighton. Same minutes played. 21 shots, 10 on target. I mean, it's disgrace. Absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? And Man City are away to Southampton. It's 0-0 there, so maybe their stats might be as bad as ours. They've only had 1 shot on target, but they've had 12 shots. So
if City don't win, don't they not hit 100 points? I think they were going for that 100-point.
Yeah, they've got 98 points at the moment. So
Rashford, he's got one-on-one with someone. Nah, he waited a little too long. Oh, nice play. He's kicking it around in the box. He goes to Shaw. Back to Rashford.
Beautiful pass to Sanchez, who, oh, wait, and that was shit. That's what that was. Sanchez seemed to pass it to the fans, so very positive for him. IMSK, Kane has claimed all 4 goals. That was funny. Yeah, again, I think unless, like I said, unless he makes a very, very strong title challenge off the gate, he's going to lose a lot more fans a lot quicker next season. So, this match is poor. Yeah, I mean, Shaka, I've watched it. I'm a big movie guy, so I've watched Star Wars, watched Godfather, all of them. Favorite trilogy is still Batman, though. The Christopher Nolan one. And Watford doing nothing. Yes, 74,000 United fans at Old Trafford watching the Tottenham game on their phone. Shaka Phil. If we buy Sandro, do you think he could mentor Luke Shaw and give him advice on how to be a world-class left back? Also, do you think they could share the role next season? It does seem Sandro does not play every game. Like, maybe his fitness is a little bit of an issue there. So maybe.
I just tweeted it out there. Spurs and Liverpool at home to crap. Brighton and Leicester. You could argue they're as crap as Watford are. Spurs have had 10 shots on target. Liverpool have had 10 shots on target. Remove the 0 for United. We've had 1 after nearly 70 minutes. And that's the whole problem with the mentality of Manchester United. It's this lazy, pragmatic, a conservative approach to the match. There's no urgency. There's no pressing. There's no let's go and win this game. And that's why we have 1 shot on target while others will have 10, because we're not. It's all like side to side, little this, that, other, but no real movement, no real confidence in that final third.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. You know what the thing is? He is okay with a win at 1-0, and I think the more and more it goes, the more fans aren't going to be. It's not negative to say we want to see better football against teams like Watford. If he plays like this against Liverpool and draws, and we're one of the only teams to not. I mean, Liverpool will be undefeated at home this season, so it's a pretty unbelievable statistic. They
must be the only team, because we beat City, didn't we? So, Carrick, I think, is going to be coming off very, very soon, so he will get his round of applause.
I'll check the volume to see how it sounds there. I think it's going to get very loud, and then I think he may see like a nice little exodus out of the stadium. Thanos versus Thor. I'm not going to say anything just because I don't know who's seen the movie, but Infinity War was good. I think the second one better be better.
Stranger Things, I enjoyed that. I saw somebody saying that before. I did enjoy that. I watched that in January. Hadn't seen the first series. Obviously watched that, then watched the second series.
Watford are, and I really mean, the shittiest team I've ever watched. Terrible defensive play by Rojo. The ball went back to the Watford player, and he was offsides, or he would have had a clean shot. So, horrible defensive mistake. But because it's Watford, it's okay. Yeah, we're not going to say spoilers. Don't worry, Elijah. Trying to think. Oh, Deadpool next week. That'll be fun. For all who get to see that.
It's interesting, the political sort of agenda that gets put out, because I've just had a tweet flash up from the official Manchester United Twitter account, and you can give us the honest answer to this, anybody who's watching it, and Jared as well, but the Manchester United Twitter account has said 70 minutes, Watford have a rare sight of goal. Is that the sort of game it's been? Because that's sort of giving out that United have been totally in charge of this.
You know what? The thing is Watford haven't had a clean chance except for the one that Romero saved. So, yeah. Unfortunately, the Twitter account's right. The difference is we also haven't had many chances. So it's like if they had said United with a rare chance at goal, that would make sense too.
Chelsea are getting absolutely hammered by Newcastle. So what I'm going to just have a quick look at that. It's irrelevant. I'm starting to thoughts relevant. Sorry, it's relevant to the FA Cup game next week. So I just wanted to see how Chelsea have lined up, because if that's their first team, it could be quite damaging. So Giroud, Hazard, Kante, Barkley, Moses, Bakayoko. Don't know who Palmieri is. Cahill, Christensen, Azpilicueta, Quartes. So that could be quite damaging to their confidence.
I mean, it's funny. If you actually talk to Chelsea fans, they all think Conte's trying to get fired.
I know for a fact that Conte's got offers in Italy, and I don't think he's. I think he would like to go back there, but the thing is, it's a one game for them tomorrow, and sorry, next week, and
they'll be up for it.
They will be up for it. And I remember the game at Old Trafford. We won 2-1, and they really were hurting us. McTominay played, and he had a bad game, and they really hurt the pace of Willian and Hazard. Really hurt our midfield. They got 1-0, but we got level, and then we won it in the second half with that. I think it was the pass forward from McTominay, cross from Lukaku. Lingard won it. So we took 3 points in a big game, but I think Chelsea were a good match for us. It's going to be interesting. It just depends on Chelsea whether they've down tools for this manager or not. But
yeah, and again, I mean, they have Morata, so he'll play half the game diving. That'll be fun.
Sean Atwood says, I'm late. Where's Martial, who scored? And David Ben says, didn't Mourinho sign a contract till 2020? He did, yeah. He extended, David, that's right. As for Martial, apparently he's injured, which I don't necessarily believe. I think something's gone off there. We're getting close to 221,500 subscribers. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Most important thing I would say now, get your notifications on, because transfer news is going to be coming in all the time now. We'll go live at silly o'clock. So make sure you've subscribed, click your bell and tick to get all notifications for the channel.
Watford almost had a chance there. And yeah, the funny thing is with the transfer window this year, it's all different because they moved it up. And then because of that, I feel like transfers may happen at a much quicker pace, because they're going to have to get them all done before the World Cup.
Well, it's beneficial to the Premier League, isn't it? Because it won't be beneficial. Yeah. It won't be beneficial at the end, because ours will close after everybody else's. But
Watford. Oh, nothing. It's all right. They're in our box a lot, but they're not doing anything. It's like Sevilla. Except they scored. Gomez had to come out to get that. We're not really bad, Ethan, because I guess the theory is like we're just not interesting. It's like a book you've read 10 times. It's a good book, but you're never going to want to read it again. That's what we are. We do the same thing, monotonous style of play, but it's a results-oriented style. It's not bad. It's just frustrating when you see other people playing open.
It opens on Friday, the transfer window.
Mm-hmm. I could see a big deal happening extremely quickly.
I mean, just have a look at this momentum map here on the SofaScore app. So that's the first half, and you can see around the time we scored, the green bit means high pressure for United, and obviously Watford didn't really do anything till the end of the half. Look at the second half. It's flatlining. There is that is minuscule sort of attacking. When it's up here, that's high pressure. And as we can see, that is as dull as dishwater second half. Clear and pure and simple.
4-4 at Wembley. It's so frustrating. I would love to be seeing a game like that in the last game of the season. Just irrelevant of winning or losing, an exciting.
I tell you what, they might have 8 goals at Wembley this week. They won't. They'll be lucky if they get 2 next week.
Exactly. I was thinking next week 1-0. Someone. Nope. Only 15 minutes left. Pogba and Herrera were warming up, so maybe they'll come on just to stay fresh. Yeah,
there won't be many Manchester United fans at the ground and worldwide who aren't thinking what most of us are thinking, that this is, last game of the season tends to be, you can't use that excuse of, oh, it's last game of the season. They tend to be exhibitions. Remember that game Sir Alex had? Was it 5-5 with West Brom? Look at what Spurs are doing. There's no reason not to entertain these people who are paying money to go to the game. It is shocking.
And you know what else? It's like, look, I'm very happy Sir Alex is getting better, but it's like with things like this, I mean, he built his legacy on youth and things like it. Just there's a lot of this that I think needs to be taken into account. Hold on, I thought he was offside, so yeah, he was offsides. And it's just it's not acceptable. You could be. It's not a black and white situation. You could be Mourinho in and still say this is not acceptable to not have youth playing in the last game of the season when it means nothing. Like Ander Herrera's coming on. That's great. But why isn't others coming on? Why isn't Chong coming? No, it's for Blind.
See, what I would like to have seen today is what we saw with Rooney, where it was Rooney came off for his last game and Angel Gomez came on. You know, the old replacing the new.
I could see
Pogba. Daily Blind coming off.
I could definitely see Pogba replacing Carrick. Very symbolic.
I think that's probably Daily Blind's last game as well.
Yep. But you wonder, because that'd be a big sign. I could tell you that Mourinho is definitely somewhat sentimental. I don't see him replacing Pogba to Carrick if Pogba wasn't going to be here. Just keeping in mind. Yeah, and again, it seems like we're just content with a 1-0 win. Unai Emery, no, that is a terrible call. 5-4 Spurs? Son of a bitch.
Well, I think anybody would rather see 5-4 than 1-0.
Yeah.
Apart from Jose Mourinho, he won't.
Yeah, especially in a game that doesn't matter. Man City Southampton is still 0-0. So, long pass. Rashford's got the ball. He's going to shoot. No, he's actually going to dribble a bunch and not shoot. Pass to Mata and to Sanchez, who passes it to Watford. Oh. Nice save. And offsides. This will be Blind's last game. A 9-goal thriller at Wembley. Yeah. Yes, it is. What a game. Let's watch that. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Mourinho looks too happy, but whatever. Who knows what goes on in his head. All right. McTominay. He's got the ball in the corner. Nope. Defense by Watford. Is there even a race for Kane versus Salah Golden Boot anymore, or no? I thought Salah had that kind of locked up.
No, yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable. What an achievement that is. Just shows you the sort of season that they've had.
Yeah. But you know what? For their sake, they better win the Champions League this year, because I just don't see it happening again for them. Watford's making a nice little run. They are definitely making a run. They're in the box. Oh, beautiful, beautiful tackle by Rojo. In the box, risky tackle. Perfect timing.
It's scary, Jared, what Manchester United are becoming, and everybody at home. I mean, a lot of people, I remember, Droughty said to me, it will just be an absolutely dead, boring game. And you think, you know. I sort of saw it when the team was selected. It's not, what are we expecting? Miracles. We know these players are crap. We know it. I would have been more surprised if they'd put on a good display and we'd won.
It's kind of shocking when you think about it.
Won well, sorry. Of course, I think we'll probably win, but
Yeah, but winning enough in the last game to your point? Like, nah. Yes, I know. Jose out. Skits, we get it. Just say it all at once.
I've never known that, though. I've never known a manager who is finishing second with a good points tally and is progressing the club, definitely. I've never known a manager like be in that situation and have so much bad feeling towards him. And I think it confuses him. But obviously, I understand why it is. It's because it's Manchester United and we shouldn't be playing this way. That's the problem. Of course, I do understand and empathise with it, but it is a weird situation as well. But the thing is, also, I know fans of a lot of other clubs, and none of them say you shouldn't be getting on at him. I mean, they all say you are dreadful.
We are. We don't have an excuse. Okay. Southampton, Man City still 0-0, so Pep can play boring as well, everyone.
Yasha Makovsky says, mark my words, Luke Shaw and Anthony Martial will stay, Blind and Darmian will leave, we'll play an FA Cup final, Martial on the left, Sanchez on the right, Lukaku will be out and Rashford will play as a striker. Well, I'll be happy with that, Yasha, but I'm not confident it'll happen. I hope you're right, Stu, hope you're right, but I'm not confident. Well, what I want to just say as well is a massive shout out to the 3,000 people who've been with us for this game, because it's been difficult, and I applaud you all. I mean, I think over the course of the season, hopefully we're going to win the FA Cup next week, but over the course of the season, I want to just say thank you to all as well. We've got a fantastic community, and your consistency and passion for this club is unrivaled. So a big shout out to you. I know it's not easy. It's not been easy for a number of weeks. It's very difficult. And the one thing, I never thought we would go back to this. I thought when we got rid of Van Gaal, we were past the days of watch-alongs talking about films. And we're not. We're back with a bang. And that is, there's got to be a massive part of that on the club itself. That the managers, of course, contribute. Of course they do. But what is our board doing appointing people like Moyes, Van Gaal, who play negative football at a club like United? It baffles me, it really does.
Nope, and you want to hear something, anyone even more frustrating? Watford's in the box, so before I start. The substitutes in the Man City game for City, Brahim Diaz, Phil Foden, and Jesus. All youth, all young, two people who don't play ever. That's what we want to see. When did that happen to our neighbors? And not us.
Yeah.
So, again, yeah, I appreciate everyone who's been here all season. It's been a rocky season, but we're still second. Going to win the FA Cup. We'll see.
So, yep, still 0-0 with City. 5-4 for Spurs. Burnley, Bournemouth 1-1. Crystal Palace 2, West Brom 0.
Pogba, here he goes. Carrick is coming off.
West Ham beating Everton 3-1.
The fans are all up.
Liverpool 3-0 up, Brighton.
Carrick getting a lot of love, guys. And for Pogba, which again is great to see if you're a Pogba fan. So 706th appearance for Carrick. No one sitting.
Pogba is the next
Mourinho
Carrick, says Alex. I hope
him
so.
a massive hug.
Yasha says, I know, the Sun told me. Well, it must be true then.
Wow. It's quite emotional.
You see,
Yeah.
like, JB says Jose's gone by Christmas if we're still playing this way next season. I would. Draughty said that to me a few weeks ago. So, what a legend! I think I class Carrick as a legend. I do. Don't blame me for the ugly football, says Jose Mourinho. Blame the board for appointing me. Thanks for the contribution, Jose.
Carrick Legends Stadium will surely empty now. Yeah, I mean, it's not yet, though, which is kind of crazy. No one's really leaving yet. And yes, cheers to Carrick.
Well, in many ways, I hope it... Obviously, we don't want Watford to score. I hope it does finish 1-0 because then it will be because of Carrick. That was, you know, Mata and Rashford obviously worked the goal together, but it was the Carrick pass that made the goal.
Right. Yeah, I mean, apart from the first 5 or 6 games, it was pretty interesting. I'm also curious, like, oh, there we go. Rashford making a run, but he slowed down, and now he's dribbling backwards. So, excellent. There we go. Pogba attacking the ball.
To be honest, I don't know what everybody thinks, but and I maybe a little bit of a controversial thing to say, but I would say if it wasn't for Michael Carrick, Jose Mourinho might be getting booed today.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in the live comments unhappy, and I'd be interested to see what the fan cams have got to say from the people at the ground, because obviously people are not happy.
No, not at all. And McTominay's down.
How long have you got left, Jared? About 3 minutes?
Yeah, 3 minutes plus extra time. Most of the other games are about to finish.
Just as a reminder to everybody, I will be doing a match reaction straight after this. Not going to be taking calls tonight because what are people really going to get worked up about that? What we'll do is, though, we're going to do a show at 8 o'clock tonight because we do Sunday Night Live 8 o'clock, and we'll be talking about the season, the bigger issues, and Mourinho, the Martial thing, which we'll hopefully have a little bit more news on. So we are going to do a match reaction straight afterwards, but we'll do an 8 o'clock show tonight, and in between we should have fan cams coming in, which would be great as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're 45 short of 221,500. Remember, Transfer Daily is back at 7 AM tomorrow, Monday to Friday. Loads and loads going on. It's going to be a very, very busy summer. And also, I'm doing That's Football as well, which means every World Cup game is a watch-along. So if you're excited about that, get involved with that as well. But loads to go on. I tell you what, Jared, I can't wait for this season to end. I'm really looking forward to the FA Cup. But as far as the Premier League season is concerned, I cannot wait for this shit to end. I'm sorry to swear, but I'm bored to death. Absolutely bored to death.
You know what? There's no two ways to slice it either. You either were very excited about Mourinho and you said you think he's going to win the title. You didn't like Mourinho. But it's like no matter what type of fan people were, no one's going to be happy with the results of this season compared to what other people have done. So we need a fresh start. And then next year it'll either all break down by Christmas or we'll be making a title challenge. There's not going to be a middle of the road, I think.
I just want to show people this attack momentum thing that they have on SofaScore, which I really like. It's a graph that gives you insight into the course of the game. Peaks on the graph are showing the pressure of a team throughout the match, and home team period of high pressure would mean high green. Away team short period of pressure would mean like a small blue thing. If you look at the second half, you can barely see anything green. Obviously, that high bit of green in the first half was when we score. Second half, United have hardly done anything. Watford have done more. That is shocking, isn't it? That is absolutely shocking. But if we go to the Liverpool game and have a look at that graph, look at how green it is. That's what a proper team does at home. Look at how green, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure, all the bloody time. Look at the Spurs game. I mean, you can just imagine what that's going to be like. High pressure, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. And then the United one, just flat, absolutely flat.
Yep.
Flat.
It's 10 people behind the ball.
And just to emphasise that, this is where we use the heat maps on SofaScore as well. So if you go to the players, Alexis Sanchez predominantly has played in that position that's Pogba's again. He's still not hogging that touchline, still coming too central for me. Mata, at least he's occupying his right-hand side, you see. Sanchez always wants to come inside. I think he's been poor by the sounds of it. You haven't mentioned him much, Jared. Rashford, bit too... He's playing more left than bloody Sanchez is. Daley Blind obviously was playing more like a left back. We had two. Carrick obviously very central, but Yeah, man of the match on that at the moment would be. I think they're saying Darmian, man of the match, SofaScore.
No.
Anyway, you can download that link in the video description. It's available on Apple and Android. It's free, of course, and very, very good. Very, very good for your match analysis and everything like that. It's what we use. So, link in the video description for that.
Yes, and Swansea are relegated, just in case anyone here cares. That is official.
Does it look like City are going to get that 100 points then? I mean,
no.
Again, we're defining our success by other people's failure.
Yes. It is embarrassing, but I'm okay with it. It's fine. I was excited when we beat City, so they didn't win the title against us, and I'm excited that they don't have 100 points.
I'm going to close that down for now. But the link is in the video description for SofaScore if anybody wants it. But who was your man of the match then, Jared?
You know, I feel like it's sentimentality. I'm giving it to Carrick. I think he set up the goal. I think he played well, and I think he shows us what we need. So I'm giving it to him.
Good.
City scored. You gotta laugh. You really gotta laugh. This season is like taking a big shit on our face.
The worrying thing is we all know what's going to come with Liverpool in that final as well. And if that happens, I'm glad there's no games for United after that, because that's going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult to come back from.
Yeah. And you know what's worse? They don't not deserve it. Sir Alex always gave teams credit. At the end of a season, he always said, these people deserved it. They played well, fair play to them. Liverpool have bossed teams well above their level. Credit to them.
And Real Madrid are crap at the back as well, I must just say.
Hold on. Herrera. Nope, we can't score still. That's the bewildering part, I think. And Lewis, Lukaku's not playing today. Lukaku is a 24-year-old who is improving. His skill set is good for the way Mourinho plays. I like him. I think that he's shown that he was an immensely better signing than Morata would have been. So that's enough. Those are the only two people available this summer. Now, going after a guy like Icardi may be nice. It's offsides. Don, you think so? He said they're going to repeat that season. You guys need to rely. I don't know. I hate Liverpool. We all hate Liverpool. I just, you have to tip your hat to the way that a team with no defense for half the season has played, no goalie, shit midfield, and look at what they got. It's something to be said for it, and that is the end of this game, which we have.
Is it over?
It's over. Thank God.
Well, Jared,
thank you everyone.
Thanks for
joining
coming on.
us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Jared.
This was fun today.
We had some fun.
Thank you next.
Thanks for coming on, Jared. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Mark. Maybe next time 2 goals.
FA Cup final, 1-1 penalties.
1-1. Stay well, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
See you, bud.
Right, I'm going to move on to my match reaction stream. The link is in the video description for that. I'll see you over there in a minute. I'm going to be honest. Link to the video description. I shall see you there in a moment.